wager, only risking it twice. So 1,000 turns into 6,000, 5,000 turns into 30,000. We'll show you how to do that. One call gets it all. That number again, 888-994-6669.
This program was paid for by 1220 Enterprises. The opinions and views expressed are not those of local stations. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes. Use of this information in violation of any federal, state, or local laws is prohibited. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hola, amigos! It's the big noise, Brad Evans from BetMGM Tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM Tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ-FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Live from downtown San Francisco, this is 95.7 The Game.
All right, happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome into Warriors this week. We got a full squad in the house. Dan Devone, Evan Giddings. Steve Risotto's back. Give it up for Pasta.
Pasta,
back from East L.A., back from San Diego. He goes...
Back from stalking our man out in Los Angeles, showing fictitious homes.
And before we get into the Warriors, we got to just start here. Hey, Perlman, friend of the show.
Jeff Perlman.
Friend of the show. Fantastic journalist.
Now, New York Times.
Excellent author. You can't cancel a tour and not tell anybody. Pasta pulled up to the comedy show, and there's a bunch of people in line waiting for him, and he had to be the bearer of bad news. I'm surprised you made it out of there alive, Pasta.
It was definitely a tense and disappointing atmosphere when they found out that Jeff Perlman would not be at this Ontario comedy club talking about sports. So it was a good time, except telling them the bad news.
You know what? The first thing that jumps out at me is, why does Jeff Perlman think as though he can have some sort of a tour? Is he at that point? I mean, don't you have to gain a little bit more popularity?
Well, that was the reason he canceled it, apparently.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of?
Well, clearly there were a lot of people that were outside disappointed waiting for him.
Remember Charlie Sheen when he had those 10 minutes of fame? This is when he went nuts.
The Dragon Blood?
Tiger Blood.
Or Tiger Blood. I don't remember.
And so he decided that he was going to go on tour. He said, I'm going to get up on stage. People want to see me. And he canceled this thing. And I remember people in Detroit were just like standing outside in the freezing cold. And it's like, well, this is the biggest mess in the world. What was Charlie Sheen thinking?
I mean, actually, that is something that I would go pay to listen to Charlie Sheen talk about his life. There's no doubt about it. Like, I went to so I think it might be going on right now. Are you familiar with Sketchfest in San Francisco?
No.
So Sketchfest is a multi-week long kind of comedic showcase where comics and improv performers, different artsy folk and entertainers come into San Francisco and they perform all over the city. So generally there's smaller shows and they have different themes to them, but there's a couple like marquee attractions, right? I think last year actually it wasn't necessarily comedic, but Krug and Kite did a sit-down Q&A at the Castro Theater, or a place nearby.
Oh, wow.
And just talked about the relationship and broadcast. Theater. Yeah, it was great. I saw Eric Idle open up Sketchfest, former member of Monty Python, the British comedic troupe, a couple of years ago. But I also listened to, this was, 3 or 4 years ago maybe, I listened to a sit-down conversation between Cheech and Chong.
Oh, wow.
And those two guys, their relationship is mighty interesting. I'm not saying that Perlman is on that level, but Charlie Sheen might be. That's the kind of guy who, I know that he's crazy, and this guy has lived many lives in one, but I would I know he's not maybe as funny as those two individuals, but to just listen to him talk about his life, that's something I would be able to sign
Didn't
up
Mike
for.
Tyson do something like that?
Well, he had a Broadway special. I think
He basically stood there on stage and just talked.
Yeah. But he did it on Broadway.
Yeah,
it was largely successful. I don't know.
So
he might have won a Tony for that.
Did Cheech and Chong, were they Daryl Hall and John Oates-esque? Did they split at some point? Or
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
And they're good now.
No.
They're not.
No.
Oh, wow.
This was one of the first times they had appeared together on the same stage because the relationship is fractured. And it was really cool listening to them. So they had all these clips of their old films together. You know, they talked about how they met. They met in this comedy club in Seattle, and they kind of, you know, just their styles meshed, and they performed together, toured around, and then they stumbled into this sort of cinematic niche, which is obviously like one of the first original weed films, and Cheech and Chong going up in smoke. Exactly. So they played these iconic scenes from a few of their films, and they talked about them and how they, quote unquote, wrote the script, you know.
Up in Smoke.
Yeah, which is a hilarious movie. And there was a narrator, a guy who had covered them for some magazine back in the day. Anyway, so he's facilitating this conversation, and it was you could tell when their relationship fractured, because as they were describing their relationship and working lives together, it eventually got to a point where they both had different recollections and like in a combative manner of what had gone down that led to them breaking up. And you could tell that Cheech was not very happy with Tommy. While they were on stage, like when they were talking, they were kind of taking jabs at each other. Cheech Marine was like, well, I mean, clearly that's how you remember it, and you're just never going to let go of that. And it was there was a lot of friction on stage. So that kind of stuff in real time it was pretty interesting.
That's priceless.
Man. Yeah, it was
unless
cool.
they were feeding the beast and knowing that, hey, let's just play it up.
No, in fact, we the person I went with, we had this theory that one of the reasons why the show kind of faded a little bit and
they didn't want to do it anymore.
No, their high wore off.
They
were on stage for about an hour and a half. You're not smoking while you're on stage. Tommy Chong, and I don't know if Cheech still smokes, but Chong absolutely does. He's plugging his brand the entire time.
Yeah. Well, Cheech went more mainstream, I want to say, after that. He sort of stepped into Hollywood.
He was in Spy Kids.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
and Tommy just sort of got into his music, I think, and just sort of, was always his vagabond a bit.
Yeah. So anyways, all right. Just because there's
this reminds me,
toxic individuals.
We don't have time. Well, maybe I will get into it.
We got plenty of time.
I had a dream. This is not MLK, Martin Luther King had a dream, but I had a dream last night, and it just literally, as I sat down, I saw pasta out of the corner of my eye. Can I just really quick revisit my dream last night?
Of course.
So I had a busy week. So late last night, I had to do a crash course to get caught up on the Warriors and what was going on, watching a little video, and I fell asleep at about 1:30. And I proceeded to dream about this show. Now, I was at a desk. You were to my right. Pasta was at the end of the desk. We have our headsets on, but we weren't in studio. We were doing remotes. At one point, we were in Golden Gate Park. Another point, we were in Sacramento. I've been to Sacramento like once. Oh, it's because I read about the Kings just before I went to bed. And so, and so we're sitting there and we're talking about everything but the Warriors. And we're talking just as we typically do, just as we did in the first 5 minutes of the show.
It was a dream.
Yeah, right? And then at one point, you turned me in this sort of stern, almost scary face, because I said, hey, don't you think we should? I go, whoa, we're 2 hours in. Don't you think we should talk about the Warriors? And you turned to me with a scary face and you said, Dan, not today. Not today. I was like, oh my God, I got so nervous. I'm like, we're not going to talk about the Warriors the whole show. What did I do? What did I do? The last part of the last scene, we're at a flea market. And now my oldest sister has replaced Pasta. She's at the head of the table. And my mom is to the left. We had these random guests to the left. And so this waiter walks up to us to take our order, our lunch order. And I look, and it's Mike Holmgren, the former Seahawk coach. He's wearing Seahawk pants, no shirt, and this protruding belly. And he says, what do you want to have for lunch? And he also looked exactly like Santa Claus. And so we give him the order. He comes back and he starts staring at me, and I don't want to look at him because he used to scare the hell out of me. And so I said, hey, do you miss it? Meaning, do you miss coaching? And he says, no, not at all. He's like, I don't have to deal with wise asses like you anymore. And then he said, what did you order for lunch? And keep in mind, he looks exactly like Santa Claus. And I said, I ordered the ho, ho, ho. And he goes, just as I thought, you haven't changed. And then he goes to my mom. He's like, see what this guy did to me back in the day? He hands her his cell phone. And so my mom picks up the phone and accidentally dials a number. And he's like, oh, God, look who you called. And he and his assistant coaches gather. He comes back to the phone, puts the phone on the table, and we all look. And on the screen it says, Pete Carroll. And the next thing I know, it's no longer Mike Holmgren. Now it's Pete Carroll that's serving us, and he has no shirt on, and he's got women bikini briefs. And I'm like, I need to like get some sleep or get some help. I had to eradicate that from the system. Let's get back into things, please.
Well, clearly not. Did you write down every single detail of this dream?
Yeah. So what was interesting is that as I woke up, I began to rehash this, and I'm like, oh my God. And I start, and then I didn't think about it because this is like at 5 a.m. And then when I just saw you guys, I'm like, oh God, this is exactly what I remembered at like 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, you sound like a lucid dreamer. Well, that's better.
This is a first ballot Warriors This Week Hall of Fame moment, by the way. I just want to say.
You know, so when I dream, I have really explicit dreams. They're not very often, but when I do, they're very detailed, and I can remember them to a T. And I wake up and I do go through that therapy. I don't write it down, but I reminisce exactly what it is that I've been dreaming about.
Which night was this?
Last night.
Oh, last night. Okay, I was going to say, well, maybe we're on the same wavelength. Literally 3 days ago. Yeah, Wednesday night, because I was so tired I fell asleep at like 7 o'clock. And I would consider more of a nightmare, but it was a vivid dream, and it was about botching a buzzer beater call. It was about blowing up and just having the worst moment of my play-by-play career. I don't necessarily remember what the situation was. It might have been a St. Mary's game, which is ironic because the very next night on Thursday, I called a buzzer beater for St. Mary's women's, and it didn't go nearly as bad. It wasn't like incredible or anything, but I just found it hilarious that I had been dreading this one thing, and then, tie game, 5 seconds left. I'm sitting there thinking as my partner's doing his babbling, and I'm like, am I about to blow this? I had a nightmare last night about this, and now the situation is unfolded in front of me. That was some deja vu type stuff.
Art imitating life. So how did you blow the call?
I just froze.
You just didn't say anything.
Well, I said something, but you're thinking for a word in the middle of the play that can describe whether it's a jump shot, a layup or a float or teardrop, something. And it was kind of like one of those in-between push shots. And so it goes up off the rim, hits back rim, and then falls around again. So you don't have the immediate bang or got it or good or game or ball game, whatever. Falls in, and I just remember kind of losing the momentum of the play. And then in my dream, I just stuttered, and then nothing came out. And then my partner eventually got in, and I just remember putting my head in my hands, and then I think I woke up sometime. Yeah.
I used to have these repeated dreams where I'd have celebrities running out patterns. And I love throwing a football. And it would be like Cameron Diaz doing a down and out. And I have a good arm, and I can't throw the ball. And it just goes like 3 yards in front of me. And I'm just like, it's the most anguish. And I should see a therapist because it's obviously representing something that I'm repressing. I cannot throw this football. And it goes like literally 5 yards. And it's the most...
Well, it's like you have the dreams where you can't run.
Exactly.
Right? Where there's somebody chasing you. Everybody has these where you have someone chasing you. You're trying to move your legs as fast as humanly possible. And it's like you're stuck in cement. And, well...
One of them means you're sexually frustrated. I'm not sure which. I think it's when you're flying.
Is that what your therapist told you?
It's not when you're flying in your dreams.
No.
Huh. Well, I was going to transition off of the prior meeting, but thanks to Dan Devone, we're going to have to take an absolute left turn here.
Go Go ahead.
Actually, no. I was going to ask you if your dream was on Monday night, because that was a bad dream for the Warriors.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
That was an absolute nightmare scenario. So
good job. We got to start rating his segues. It's about 6.5 today.
Yeah, that wasn't
bad. He went from dreams to nightmare. Maybe we'll go to an 8.
Well, I had a better one earlier this week. Willard actually gave me a standing O. But the thing is, we haven't talked over the last week. By the way, 888-957-9570. I swear to God, this is Warriors This Week. That's Dan Navone, Evan Giddings, Steven Risotto in the house. Everything's changed again, Dan.
Oh, God.
Everything has changed again. The one thing I'll say about this team is whether it's good, bad, or other, there's never really a dull moment.
No.
And of course, this week it's because Jimmy Butler tears his ACL against the Miami Heat.
Yeah. Where do we start? There's so many different.
How did you feel when you saw it? Whether it was a replay in real time, you read about it. What was your reaction?
You want me to be completely forthright?
Yeah.
I felt like this was imminent. I was not surprised. And I don't mean to be that Monday morning quarterback and saying, I told you guys, or this was bound to happen. But wasn't it sort of, are we really, really surprised that guys who have this much mileage on them over the age of 35, that somebody blew a tire, that somebody tore their ACL, Achilles? Wasn't that one of the risks when you're leaning on older players? Isn't that sort of what we talked about? That they got to be healthy at the most important part of the season? Like, I'm sorry, but this did not shock me, or I was not sad, or this was not one of those, oh my God. It was like, so it happened tonight against the Miami Heat. I just felt there was a sense of inevitability to it.
I think an injury is fair, but a season-ending fluke one like that, to me, that did take me by surprise, because I don't think it's uncommon for older players to deal with more strains or, kind of the nagging injuries that keep them out for extended periods. But players that have dealt with season-ending injuries as of late around the NBA include Kyrie, who's in his, I think he's 33 or 34. So he's kind of up there. But outside of that, you obviously have Tatum and Halliburton, who are 26 and 25, I believe, that tore their Achilles. Grant Williams tore his ACL last season. DeAnthony Melton tore his ACL last season. And Mo Wagner tore his ACL last year as well. None of those guys are in their 30s. So I guess I hear you on the, right, older guy, more injury prone, more risk involved. But to have that come down the way it did, it could have happened to anybody. It literally happened to DeAnthony Melton last season, 7 games into the year when he was age 26. I think expecting at some point this team to get hit with like a Steph hamstring in the playoffs, or Butler who hurt his back in the postseason that kind of hampered him and didn't allow him to play at 100%. Those injuries to me are ones where I'm not that shocked. This one hit a lot of Warriors fans, I think.
Well, whether it's season ending or whether it's Steph pulling his hammy and can't play for a month during the most important part of the season. Okay, maybe season ending, yeah, that's always one of those, oh, no way. Was that the ACL? Was that the Achilles?
Oh, and he's out for like 12 months now.
Yeah, there's always, I guess there's always that sort of, it's attached to some sort of shock value. But the fact that he suffered a serious injury, or an injury where he's going to miss obviously significant time, I guess that doesn't surprise me. And knock on wood, I hate to even go there, I don't think we're done. If you're going to rely on Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Al Horford, there's a good chance that one of those guys are going to go down. Hopefully, it's not to the severity of what it is that happened to Jimmy Butler, but there's a chance that something's going to happen to Steph and he's going to be out for weeks or a month, and same with Draymond. That's just sort of the nature of the beast when you put all your chips in the middle of the table and saying, I'm riding this horse, and they're all 36 and older.
Well, that's why they're kind of back to being stuck. I remember us doing this show probably around the same time last year, wondering what you're going to do at the deadline, who's viable, different trade candidates. And the reality was the Warriors were, when they acquired Jimmy at least, 25 and 26. They were a 12 seed. They were a game below 500. And that was a team that also, you may not like him, but also had Andrew Wiggins on it. So this is a team now that doesn't have Wiggins. Kuminga just got hurt against the Dallas Mavericks, and we don't know how long he's going to be out for. You don't obviously have Butler available to you. So the only difference is you now have Melton and Horford. The task of the Warriors is as difficult as it's ever been. I mean, they've slowly been trending in this direction of, I guess, if you want to talk about older guys, like deterioration. But, the last two games, they got absolutely stomped against the Raptors. Dallas, they had a lead in the fourth quarter. A 24-5 run eclipsed that. Najee Marshall's scoring on them, and Brandon Williams is getting downhill. They play the T-Wolves at 2:30 today, Dan. And the T-Wolves, while they've lost 4 in a row, are actually a good basketball team. Good. And they play them twice in a row. And I just feel like the Warriors are still not. I don't think they've really, and we're talking about it too. We're going to talk about it until noon here on Warriors This Week. I don't even think they've really digested what happened on Monday and the kind of ramifications of that sort of injury.
Yeah, it sort of looks like it. They look as though this is a team that's in a bit of a hangover and going through the motions, especially when it comes to Draymond and Steph. Even though Steph went off for 38 the other night, it feels as though there's a bit of lethargy, and they're still dealing with the aftermath of losing Jimmy Butler and coming to this realization that there's no shot. You mentioned this time a year ago, what a difference a year makes, right? It's the complete opposite. Last year, this team wasn't going anywhere, and there was a sense of despair. They make the trade at the deadline. Jimmy Butler comes on board. All of a sudden, they're rejuvenated, and they're playing so well that, remember at this time a year ago, that Draymond Green at the All-Star break said, guarantee we're going to the NBA Finals.
They said we're going to win the championship.
Going to win the championship.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they were at after, of course, this horrific start. And now it's the complete polar opposite, where no Jimmy Butler, and there seems to be no off-ramp on this thing in terms of saving them.
No, and we're going to play some of the sound from the other night because we got to get into it, Devon and I, some of the reaction to, whether it's Curry. I think Curry is probably the most telling quote from the loss in Dallas. But even with the feeling of, I don't know if despondence is the right word, it also means that wasn't the trade worth it? I mean, the trade to get Jimmy Butler, you got about 70 games out of him, including the playoffs. You made a run at it. You got to the second round, and the only thing you really gave up was a first-round pick. To me, I realized that he got hurt, but one of the things that I felt like watching the team the last two games was, even though they look like shells of themselves, and I have a lot of skepticism that this team can continue to compete even at this level. That's why you took the swing. Like, this team currently is why you swung on Jimmy Butler. And it sucks because there isn't a ton of flexibility now with what you can do, even with the February 5th deadline coming up. But without him, you're this. And you see that this is just simply not good enough. That, to me, is what sort of justifies the decision last year that they made to give him a crap load of money in an attempt to try and, as Steve Kerr says, take a swing at it.
Or, and let me just present the other side of the ledger, and I've always brought this up. You're saying it was justified, and you might be right. Because what is Steph saying? What do the Warriors basically collectively say? We just want to play in meaningful games. Mm-hmm. I don't think they think they're going to win an NBA championship and catch OKC, even with a healthy Jimmy Butler. Just get me to that first round or second round. Let me be on ABC, nationally televised games, and shimmy. And I think that's enough for Steph these days. They'll never admit it publicly. Or, let me just throw this out there. How many times have you heard me throw out the word over the last couple of years, at some point you got to hit reset? So let's just say they didn't get Jimmy Butler, right? And let's just say they got into this NBA draft this past year. And as I mentioned, maybe you get Cooper Flagg, because as we saw, he went to the Dallas Mavericks. And the way the NBA draft and the lottery is these days, it's not necessarily, the percentages do not necessarily always go towards the team with the worst record. Or you get VJ Edgecombe, or you get one of the. You get Knippel is having an amazing season.
Knippel's pretty good.
I'm just saying that yes, it might be worth it, or at some point you're going to have to hit reset. How do you hit that button a little bit sooner rather than later, and you have one of those stars that you identify that is a young star, not a guy that has the potential, or maybe if you hold him up to the mirror, maybe Moody can be the guy. Maybe it's Pajemski. I don't know. It's good. No, you have a bona fide young star now on your basketball team, and you also do not have that ball and chain of $54 million, which I have no idea what the hell they're going to do with that. Talk about an albatross.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do anything with it or if they're willing to do anything with it, because, and I realize that it's a posture you have to take, but
I'd trade him.
Well, I would try to too, but Mike Dunleavy came out and basically said that they're not looking to move Jimmy. I think that's been the reported stance from, everybody with knowledge inside the situation. But I'm kind of with you. I just feel like if you really do want to maximize not just this season, but next season as well, I just find it hard to believe that Jimmy Butler is in your plans. Because, number one, he won't be back until, if we're going to take the Melton timeline of this ACL thing, then Butler's not going to be back until about this time next year. So he's going to miss half the season.
And that's being optimistic.
Optimistically.
Yeah.
He's going to miss half the season.
He's 10 years older than Melton. Almost.
And then you're going to have to ramp him up. Melton's only playing 20 minutes a game. Butler would then be on that track. So in a perfect world, Butler would be able to help you and be back, if we're, again, taking the glass half full look at this, he would be back to playing his same level of basketball, which is lesser than the past few years, at around March, April, right as you're heading into the playoffs. But why should I have any confidence that this team is currently constructed with that salary anvil not allowing you to do anything? Why is that team going to be competing for a playoff spot to then have Jimmy Butler come back in? It's not, to me, Dan, like what the Boston Celtics have set up right now, which is they have a very interesting choice to make of whether or not they want to push Jason Tatum back sooner or later. But they have that choice because the team's a 2 seed in the East.
It's crazy.
Like, they have a player, another superstar that's kept them afloat. The Golden State, and they obviously have a good team. The Golden State Warriors are not in that situation. Who?
Hugo Gonzalez?
Hugo Gonzalez. What are you talking about?
You don't know Hugo? Oh, my God.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jaylen Brown.
I was being facetious.
They're calling him the Smudge.
Hugo is the kid out of Spain. He's just lighting it up for him, man.
Oh, is this your...
No, that's... Well, there's Luka, their version of Luka.
Yeah, Luka Garza.
There's Luka Garza, and they got Hugo. I want to say Gonzalez, Hugo Gonzalez, who's just... Dude is just, he's money. Yeah, and just think about this, and just to add, before we get to the break, and then if you're thinking at this point, and you have that, that financial burden with him, and then you're like, okay, well, maybe he's not ready to go in April of next year, but then we have the off season, he'll be good to go. Well, guess what? He's up for a new contract, which he wants. What the hell are you going to do then?
A lot of choices for the Warriors and not a lot of time to make them. We're going to try and figure it out between now and noon on Warriors This Week with Dan Devone and Evan Giddings. 888-957-9570 is the number. Where do we go from here? I see you on the Boxer and Gerson work injury attorneys text line. I see you in our YouTube chat. We'll get into the conversation more on the other side on 95.7 The Game.
Tune in for Warriors Live today, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
The NFL is taking over the Bay Area. Experience football like never before with Super Bowl Experience presented by Jersey Mike's February 3rd through 7th at the Moscone Center. Tickets start at just $40 and kids 12 and under attend for free. Visit superbowl.com to buy your tickets today.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
Your home is your sanctuary. Keep it that way with the beauty and performance elements of Milgard windows and doors. From the elegant Tuscany series to the modern slim profile Trinsic series, Milgard offers energy-efficient solutions and lifetime warranty options. At Ashby Lumber, our experts are here to help you find the perfect Milgard fit for your project, whether you're a DIYer or a professional contractor. Visit our dedicated door and window showrooms in Berkeley or Concord to see the Milgard difference in person. Start your project today at ashbylumber.com. Ashby Lumber, your trusted building partner since 1968.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
He's the best interview in the Bay Area.
He looked like Steph Curry always has, so he still got it. I mean, I think the biggest thing when you're 37 is maintaining the level over the course of 82 games.
And he joins Willard and Dibbs every week during the NBA season.
We have a blueprint that everybody's feeling confident with.
Steve Kerr is presented by Great Clips. In sports, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Blue and Gold fans, let's get engaged. Cast your vote in our Expo online before every basketball game on Willard and Dibbs. Brought to you by Shaneco, your friend and jeweler, where you'll find the Bay Area's best selection of unique engagement rings and their unmatched free lifetime warranty. Visit Shaneco today.
When back to the office means back in traffic.
2 left lanes blocked.
Turn to the traffic leader, KCBS.
And then a second crash in the back.
Brought to you by your NorCal Honda dealers. Road trip ready and adventure priced? There's a Honda for that. The Honda HR-V from your Northern California Honda dealers.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
Team in Training will change your life with a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients. Join TNT. Fundraise for blood cancer patients. Train with world-class trainers and be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
All guests on 95.7 The Game appear on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Jimmy Butler, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line.
Dub Nation, this is Stephen Curry, and you never know when I'll be on the River Islands guest line. So make sure to keep it locked on 95.7 The Game.
River Islands in Lathrop is the best-selling master plan community in all of Northern California. With its lakes, parks, trails, and collection of new home neighborhoods, the good life can be your life. Isn't it time for you to discover the islands?
Team up with Stanford Blood Center and the Golden State Warriors this winter to save lives. From January 2nd to 31st, every donor who presents to donate blood at any center or drive will receive a special redemption card for a co-branded SBC Warriors sweatshirt. Wear your new sweatshirt with pride, knowing that you contributed to both the Warriors community and the life-saving work of the Stanford Blood Center. Don't miss this chance to give back and get rewarded in style. Donating blood is easy, and your gift could save a life. Visit stanfordbloodcenter.org/promotions for more information.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Google of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
95.7 The Game congratulates our sister station Live 105 on being named Legendary Station of 2026 by the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. We welcome you to join them as they celebrate January 30th in Alameda. Get your tickets and all the details at 957thegame.com.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, back to the drawing board. Golden State, all they can do is keep playing. Jimmy goes down. They play on Tuesday. They play, what was it, on Thursday?
They get the baseball series.
And then tonight.
The baseball series with Minnesota.
Now, why do you call it a baseball series, if you don't mind me asking?
Because you're playing the same team at home.
Now, this is where I want to bring in Pasta. Because
you're not one and done.
No, but I've always believed that a two-game
That's what they do in baseball.
It's not a series. A series means that someone can win, right? There has to be an odd amount of
is
games.
that the official definition of series?
I think 2 games is a set, if I'm not mistaken. But in baseball, we would not look at 2 games as a baseball series, even in baseball.
Well, I think the analogy that they're trying to make is that it's not just one game.
You hear that, Fitz? It's not a baseball series.
That's fair, but it's baseball series is 3 games, maybe 4, but sometimes 2, very rarely 2.
No, I'm just kind of a stickler for that sort of thing. But it's like if you want to call it a series, by all means. You know, you had a lucid dream last night. I know your mind's all over the place. You were thinking about us. You know, I want to be here to support you.
How's this? They're going to get spanked twice in Minnesota over the next 2 days.
That we can bet on. I think the Warriors are going to win one of these games.
Hit me.
And it's not because of the Warriors.
No, you might be right.
It's because of the Wolves. The Wolves
they're just a weird
one of the
team.
more inconsistent, good teams in the NBA. And this is where I think it sucks because we're also looking at it through this lens, but you know, we're going to learn that any team can be beat on any night. I mean, that's the Warriors' kind of approach right now. They still occupy the 8th seed. They are 2 games up on the Trailblazers for the 9, 4 games up on the Clippers, who are quickly rising for the 10. I think the Clippers are going to make the playoffs this year. They're going to beat somebody.
Here comes Memphis
to win that second game. You've been waiting on Memphis this whole season. There are a couple trade candidates though for the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr., you like him?
Sure. Is he on the market?
Yeah, you want to pick up his $200 million?
Oh, wow. And Ja finally is officially on the market, and all of a sudden, Ja's balling. You see that?
Yeah, he wants to get out of there.
I think he wants to stay.
In Memphis?
It's the reason why he's going off.
Did you guys hear the news on him?
On Ja?
Out at least 3 weeks after a UCL sprain.
Yeah.
It
happened in London, I think. Yeah.
Oh, was that when he almost got into a fight with his teammate?
I mean, really? They were having like a conversation, and for some reason it got.
Vince Williams told him to go to the back.
I mean, it was just like,
I'll meet you in the back.
Those conversations happen like on the daily in the NBA.
Well, yeah, just not all the time.
You know what cracks me up is New Orleans and this idea that they don't want to trade Trey Murphy or Herb Jones.
I wouldn't want to trade Trey Murphy.
Or Jones.
Yeah, I think Herb is a good contract, but yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean,
I think I'm completely against you here because you're one of those that thinks that they shouldn't trade any of these guys.
Trey?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What? Why would you trade a good player?
I'll tell you why. How about because
Trevor,
they're 11-36. I keep hearing this like, why should we trade away our guys? Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and Zion's going to get better at some point. Hello, New Orleans, you won 10 games. This idea of like, we got to keep these guys. No, forget reset with the Warriors. You guys need to reset.
But Trey Murphy could be a part of the reset is my thing. He's 20, 25, 24.
He's late 20s, I want to say.
I don't think he's very old.
No, you're right. I think he's 25.
But so the point is you can still be a part of the next, he's 25 years old. You can still be a part of the next construction of the team. You know, I don't think, like this idea of starting from scratch to me is a little overrated. I do think you need particular building blocks and having someone who was drafted there, developed there, become a part of the next iteration of whatever you're trying to build with your team. You know, whether it's him and Derek Queen. I guess
Spears.
Yeah, I feel like New Orleans would take a king's ransom to come off of Trey Murphy, and I don't believe there's any team that wants to give up that much for him because to your point, if Trey Murphy's so good, why do they only have 11 wins? And he's a good player. There's no doubt about that. He scored 32 last night.
Yeah, I guess, and to your point, like Atlanta, they're like, listen, we're not very good, but we'll build around Jalen Johnson. Right? Like, you keep one guy, and like, that's our guy. It's no longer Trey, but rather we're going to go Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, I mean,
have him be the centerpiece. That dude is amazing.
It's kind of the issue with the Warriors right now. Is if you were to try,
let me ask you, what are you doing at the trade deadline if you're done leaving? Are you still active? Are you still looking to make that huge trade? I still see a lot of Giannis talk in a 3-way deal where he lands in Portland. Seems to be the latest.
He lands in Portland with his buddy Drew Holiday. By the way, Giannis is out for 3 to 6 weeks with a calf strain. And this is from the 707. We'll have to fact check this. We'll get paused on the case. From the Boxer and Gerson work injury attorneys text line. Last night, Giannis left the game. Calf injury is mentioned. All the national outlets say it's over in Milwaukee, and the top 3 teams are Warriors, Knicks, and Lakers to land him. Jimmy money matches. This is the problem. If you're trading Jimmy Butler, number one, it does have to be a team that could absorb his contract. It also has to be to a team that is okay with losing this season and next season, because you're getting a player who is, to me, this is what makes it different than DeAnthony Melton, in addition to just the sheer size of his contract. Melton wasn't expiring, and I think there's some value in trading an expiring contract, but Jimmy's going to opt into his $57 million player option. There's just no doubt about it. And so if you're a team, why would you want Jimmy Butler unless you're getting everything else the Warriors have to offer, which still may not be good enough for someone like Giannis? I don't know. I think they're in a really delicate spot. And the problem is, Dan, they could I think if they make the wrong deal at the deadline, they could make this thing a lot worse than it already is. Or you have the belief that could happen?
Yes. I'm trying to look at this.
Like, if you cash in your picks for a player who helps you marginally now and maybe moves the needle a little bit, this is the thing, is this. We were talking about this team a month ago, and I know they've been playing better, or had been before Jimmy got hurt, but we were still talking about this team like they were a move away or 2 moves away from really being considered a potential contender. And that was with Jimmy Butler. So now your task is, if you really want to look at doing everything you can for this season, the challenge is, can you find a player that's as impactful as Jimmy Butler? And, oh, by the way, also potentially go get another piece. And that, to me, is where it kind of moves into the realm of unrealistic.
I just don't, there's nothing, even if you get that one player, what is it that you're really going to do? You're not one player away.
Exactly.
And so here's one of the trades. I sort of enjoy this stuff. So this doesn't involve Portland, but this is getting a lot of traction. And this is the Lakers and the Nets and Michael Porter Jr. The Warriors would get Michael Porter Jr., Jared Vanderbilt. The Lakers would get Kuminga, Buddy Hield, and Gary Payton, expiring deals.
Yeah.
Nets get Rui Hachimura, Moses Moody, Dalton Knecht, Guy Santos, and Trace Jackson Davis, and 2 future first-round picks.
And those picks would come from the Warriors. That's a lot, but so you'd get MPJ back and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You would lose GP2, Buddy, Kuminga, Moses,
and Trace Jackson Davis.
Well, I know you wouldn't do that.
No, he's untouchable.
Trace Jackson Davis cannot be moved. A 5 for 2. I don't know how much. I don't know how much that helps you, to be honest. Like, you do get a better player, right? You probably win a couple more games than you would win on your current track. But is that really going to allow Golden State to get into the playoffs and potentially win a round? To me, that has the making of limping to the play-in. Maybe Curry does something crazy in a one-game situation, and then you get handled in the first round.
Yeah, so you know how I feel about this, and that is, don't bother with it. Just fall back, get into that draft, and let's start anew.
Yeah, but as we also discussed earlier in the segment, in order to reset, you kind of need something to build around.
That's Steph for another year.
We can talk about that in a minute. 888-957-9570 is the number. Warriors this week with Devone and Giddings. Let's go to Scotty, who's in Berkeley. Scotty, what's up, man? Good morning. How you doing?
Morning, fellas. How you doing?
Awesome.
You know, I always kind of go back in my mind, and I always go back to Bill Walsh's philosophy about rebuilding or retooling, because he was a guy who always would get rid of a situation a year too early as opposed to a year too late. And I think this is kind of the situation this team has hit now. It is like about 2 months too late. And I in my mind, you know, the word Dan and Evan you've been using is reset, and I think that's the right word, since you can't use the T word anymore, as in tank. So I'm, you know, I mean, I've been kind of in the mindset of, well, maybe it is time to start scouting and try and figure out, do you want DeBonstead, do you want Patterson, or do you want Cam Boozer? Figuring that Dunleavy's a general manager, he probably wants Cam Boozer. But I'm kind of, you know, I mean, and the 5 for 2, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything with the Lakers right now. I just want to watch the show go on with them. You know, because I mean, we're a week away from the first anniversary of the Luka trade, and I always believed that night, you know, what Pelinka did is he said, okay, the team now belongs to Luka. We don't have to worry about LeBron, except that you have LeBron and Rich acting like we're not going to be ignored. So I just kind of like, no, I want to avoid that situation altogether. Let everything stay the way, you know, they're kind of stuck. I would say that they have to ride it out with Kuminga one way or the other. I would rather deal with Kuminga in the summer than have to deal with the situation and try and figure out who you can get, because I'm not sure they're going to get that much that helps. You know, because I think the numbers are just too weird. But, you know, I mean, I'm just out here spitting like everybody else. You guys have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, Scotty. Appreciate the call. This is from...
Scotty ran out of things to say from one of the few times.
Sounds like a lot of Warriors lately at the podium.
You know, I think I came to the realization this past week, I think Kuminga is going to retire as a Golden State Warriors like 12 years from now. He's never leaving. Come on.
The one thing that I always struggle with is how much can you really believe about what's being reported on or said about Kuminga? Because you either hear what his agent wants you to hear, and I don't really get what his objective is in all of this, outside of maybe to get his agent out and piss some people off in the process. Like, did you see what he tweeted on Tuesday?
What did he say?
So
his agent or Kuminga?
Agent. No, Kuminga's been great.
Aaron Jones or
Aaron Turner?
Aaron Turner.
Yeah, Aaron Jones. He's a
running back.
Former UTEP, El Paso. So Dunleavy, before the game on Tuesday against the Raptors, goes to the podium and is asked about Kuminga and his demand for a trade, which, by the way, is still on the table. And according to Chris Haynes, their relationship is fractured, the Warriors and Kuminga's. So Dunleavy has the quote of the year or whatever, which is, in order for there to be a demand, there has to be demand. And, you know, it's a pretty clever play on words. Not sure I would have said it considering the situation, but he spoke his truth, and I appreciate honesty. Now, Kuminga goes out and scores 20 points in 21 minutes that night, and Aaron Turner tweets out a picture, which is just like a Google definition of the relationship between, was it supply and demand, or price and demand. So his point is, in order for you to drive the price up or drive the demand up, you have to affect the price, and the price is playing time. So basically, play my client, and there will be a higher demand for him. So Kuminga has played 30 minutes so far. He scored 30 points, and then he hurt himself against the Dallas Mavericks. I don't think that the demand has changed for Kuminga much, if at all. But the whole idea of, like, the Warriors are, I think Dunleavy's talking to the agent, and the agent's talking to Dunleavy, and it's like the representation of the front office continue to butt heads. Meanwhile, the player and the coaching staff can't figure it out either. I still would be willing to bet that he's traded by the deadline this year.
After seeing him play this week, it does beg the question, why didn't he play? Couldn't you use some of that? I mean, even in a limited role when you need some offense?
Well, the issue has been that he needs a lot of time to figure it out, right?
He didn't get a lot of run.
Against Dallas?
Well, it seems like even in Toronto, he was filling it up the minute he hit the floor.
Well, his first 5 minutes weren't very good, and then but he lit it up in the second half. He played really well, and I think considering he hadn't played in a long time, that's absolutely commendable. But the other issue is he played the same position as Butler, I think.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't. And the reason is because Butler's too good of a basketball player that if you mean to tell me if you got a guy who can give you another 18 to 20 points, but can't play on this team, I got a Butler. Butler is so savvy. He knows how to play with another good player. He'll make it work. And he did at times.
I think Butler knows how to play with him. I don't think Kuminga knows how to play with Butler because he needs the ball.
But I think you could figure that. They did at times. I saw what it is I saw last year. They were both on the floor, and they were both producing.
Without another major ball handler who is Steph. I think that.
I mean, I guess I understand what you're saying, but I hear too many people just say, well, he can't play with Butler. Really? I think that we ought to examine that a little bit closer, especially when it comes to Butler knows how to play basketball with other players. And you can't just simply dismiss it. If I'm the Warriors and I need offense, if there's two Michael Jordans, if there's two Kobe Bryants on my team, I'm sorry, they can't play together. I mean,
Kuminga's not Kobe
no, I
or
get
Michael
it. But if
Jordan.
there's a guy who can give you 18 to 20 points, and there's just this, I got to put him in. He's getting DMP'd because there's no way in hell, despite being an athlete, who can give me instant offense on a team that needs athletes. He can't play with Butler. It's like, all right, we'll trade him at the deadline, but until then, there's got to be 10 minutes for the guy.
Well, he's playing now. Jimmy's out. He was playing pretty well until he got hurt, and that's another wrinkle too. Is how does that impact?
We have to talk about somebody, by the way.
About who?
Draymond.
Oh God.
I haven't.
You want to do that now?
No, we'll do it later. But I have not listened to 95.7 The Game. Sometimes purposely I don't listen.
You don't want to admit that, but
I listened to your show, but I just didn't have an opportunity to this week. I like to think as though I have some fresh takes coming into the show.
Sure.
Did you guys talk about how Draymond lost that Dallas Maverick game? Has anybody talked about that?
It came up.
Oh, it did?
I mean, everyone saw it with their own two eyes.
Okay, good. All right.
No,
it's go home.
But this is something that's been happening the entire season. You remember, and I know it's almost at the end of January. You remember when he was a negative the entire month of December? Literally. I think there were 9 games in a row in which he was a negative, some of which they won. Draymond Green had his worst month as a Golden State Warrior since, I don't know, probably his rookie season or whatever it is. But as a contributing member of this team, as a starter, he's coming off his worst month of his career. Yeah, and then you see a game like Dallas and you're sitting there. By the way, he was terrible against Toronto too. I know the game was a moot point. They were getting dogged. But he was horrible at the start of that game. And we're talking about what to do around Steph and how to use Jimmy, and there's all these existential questions that Steph doesn't want to talk about concerning the trade deadline in the future. The biggest question to me is what you do about Draymond Green this summer.
Get him the hell out of town if you can.
There has to be some sort of discussion. To me, the Warriors not even considering it, that would just be short-sighted.
That Steve Kerr is culpable in all of this. I got a lot to say. And what it is that he said about Pele Larson, I there's a love affair with Draymond Green, and I think I represent a lot of people. He can be really good, and you're like, dude, we need that guy. He's so damn good. And there's other times like, that's it. I'm done with this dude. He's delusional now. What it is that he said about I'm not a dirty player, you're the definition of a dirty player. You're the poster child of a dirty player. And then he went after Pele Larson and Europeans. No, those are the dirty players. I'm done with this dude. Done.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, actually, because those are the only players that he actually goes after. Doesn't go after the...
Or Colin Gillespie.
Oh, my...
Go after Beef Stew.
Yeah, good luck. They'll be in town, by the way, in about a week and a half.
Man?
They're pretty freaking good. Yeah, they're going to probably run the Warriors off their own floor. And I think, who did they play last night? Was it Houston? That was a good game. Beef Stew's got game.
Yeah.
He could start on this team.
Duran's got,
he would be the starting five on this team.
You know what I like?
Comes off the bench.
You know what I like about that team? They're not bad boy-esque. Well, they are. Not to that degree, but they play in the paint, man. Like, they get more offensive rebounds and putbacks. It's ugly, but they do all their damage in the paint. Like, they're not living and dying with three balls. They are all about mid-range, and everything is just putbacks, muscle, get you out of the way, and attack the rim from close range. They're sort of a throwback in that way.
Well, they're also young. I mean, their best player's, 24? Cade Cunningham?
Could he be the face of the league?
Cade?
Yeah. He just doesn't have enough juice. He doesn't have enough personality.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, I like Cade.
You just don't hear about him. Like, where's his commercials?
I think part of it is because he's in Detroit. And this is, I know they were good last year. And they've been kind of up and coming for a bit, but this is the first year where it feels like they've taken that OKC leap from a couple of years ago. And we'll see how far they go in the postseason. But a kid I went to high school with actually covers the team for The Athletic. He's the Pistons beat writer. He said Cade's really cool.
Yeah.
He's kind of quiet, but anytime he needs anything, he'll go out and do community events.
I hear that.
Yeah, he's not a diva type of superstar. So I don't know, maybe you need that. Yeah, he's not a look at me kind of guy.
He has a remarkable past. His backstory is pretty amazing.
Cade?
Upbringing, parents. He's been through some stuff, man. A lot of stuff.
Well, I just loved him at Oklahoma State. I didn't know that I didn't know he had this, though. I mean, they put him on the ball because he's more of an off guard. Like, he didn't play, well, he played point in college, but the fact that they basically just threw him the ball last season and said, make as many turnovers as possible in the process of getting better. Like, he gets to wherever he wants on the floor. And that's something that you're watching around the league. You know, like, whenever you just turn on a basketball game that doesn't involve the Warriors, you see something and you just go, yeah, the Warriors don't have that. Like, the Warriors don't have a player that can put 2 feet in the paint, that can get downhill, that can create their own shot outside of Steph Curry. I mean, even though Kuminga can score at the rim, you know, a lot of times it's like just an ISO play where he tries to muscle his way there, and now we don't know what's going to happen with him.
Same thing with Cooper Flag, I think.
Oh, Flag's really good.
He got it in a similar situation where Jason Kidd said, we don't have a point either. Kyrie's down. You got to handle the ball. Now, obviously, they've given it to your kid out of Gonzaga. Nembhard.
Well, I thought Williams was starting over. Nembhard's good, though.
But I guess my point is that Cooper Flag learned how to play with a ball in his hand, made his turnovers, but that's going to benefit that dude for sure going forward. Now he can play any position.
Yeah, and he also doesn't have any pressure to win. That's a place where the Warriors are stuck a little bit. I see the calls. I see Austin and Mitch. I got to get to you on the other side, though, because we got to hit a break here. Warriors This Week continues after this on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibs for Safeway. Enjoy these amazing deals for members. And as always, save up to 20% weekly on hundreds of exclusive offers from Safeway. Just clip the highlighted deals from the weekly mailer or click the deals in the For You section of the Safeway app to breeze through checkout. Buy one, get one free. Foster Farms Simply Raised boneless, skinless chicken breasts, thin sliced or tenders. When you buy two, it's kind of like radio hosts. Buy one, get one.
And here he is, and you can mix and match 1 pound strawberries or 6-ounce blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries for just $2.99 each when you buy 3, and mix and match Lucerne flavored creamer or cottage cheese, Dannon Greek yogurt, Yoplait fridge pack, Mountain High yogurt, and Yakult probiotic drinks, selected sizes and varieties like us, just $2.99 each when you buy two.
Wonderful job. Safeway makes it easy for you to save money on the items you already buy, so that's perfect. Go to Safeway.com for more details, and we will see you in the aisles.
Discover the luxury of Monogram appliances at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. At Monogram, it's not just one detail, it's many. From preheating your oven with voice control to checking your dishwasher cycle from your phone. Monogram blends innovation with elegance. Right now, receive up to 2 free eligible Monogram appliances or generous credits toward the appliances of your choice. Visit Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill to explore the full Monogram collection, showcased in stunning live working vignettes or online at friedmansappliance.com.
Hey, Jimbo. Why is your cubicle full of plastic coffee pods?
Well, I brew a lot of pods. How come yours isn't?
Because I brew San Francisco Bay Coffee's commercially compostable 1-cup coffee pods.
Commercially compostable?
Indeed. They're just like yours, but they're made from plant-based materials. So I'm helping to reduce plastic landfill waste.
Commercially compostable 1-cup coffee pods from San Francisco Bay Coffee. One small sip for a better tomorrow. 1-cup coffee pods can help reduce plastic waste in landfills when commercially composted. Commercial composting is available in limited areas and may not be available near you.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533. 800-568-6533.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Fox Sports Radio is taking over YouTube, and you can be a part of it.
Pay attention!
Just go to YouTube and search Fox Sports Radio. Hit that subscribe button and smash that notification bell and catch all the videos from your favorite shows. 2 Pros and a Cup of Joe, Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Covino and Rich, The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington, The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon, and The Ben Maller Show. Fox Sports Radio on YouTube.
Subscribe, hit that thumbs up icon, and comment away.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Music legend John Mellencamp is coming to the Bay Area on August 12th at Shoreline Amphitheater. Buy your tickets at LiveNation.com for your chance to win tickets to the show, courtesy of Live Nation. Visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9834. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9834. That's 800-575-9834. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Just count your blessings, Dan. Count them. You could be in Minnesota right now, where the Golden State Warriors getting set to play the Timberwolves at 2:30. Warriors live at 1:30 here on 95.7 The Game, where it is -3 degrees right now with a wind chill of -18.
I'm out.
What's the coldest place you've ever lived or experienced?
Chicago Soldier Field, covering a football game. Never again. In January, it was late December.
How cold was it?
Oh, it was like you get that wind chill coming off the lake because it's right off of Lake Michigan. It's in the sub -10 or something. You have to cover every orifice of your body, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Even your nostrils. It's just, I'm telling you, you would literally get the hottest thing they have, like hot chocolate, and you just want to throw it on your face.
That's the truth, man, because you're going to catch hypothermia if you're out there for any longer than, if you're exposed for any, 10 minutes, you're done. When I lived in Fargo, there was a polar vortex. Fargo's the real windy city. I know that Chicago has like you said, the breeze coming off the lake, the wind chill. But Fargo's such a flat town, and there's no buildings to block any sort of wind that when it sweeps through, it's almost too cold to snow. And one year when I was living there was a polar vortex, and the wind chill got down to -45. To the point where you are not allowed to go outside. It's life and death. If you're outside for more than 2 minutes, you will get hypothermia. And it's to the point where if you wanted to, let's say, I don't know, you forgot to get some rations, you ran to the local grocery store, you want to get back. If your car shut down, which is very possible in those sort of conditions, nobody's coming for you. Like, police aren't allowed on the road, emergency services are not available. If you get caught, every single year, there was unfortunately like 1 or 2 people who would pass away because they were on the roads and their car shut down and they weren't able to make it to any place to get warm.
Yeah, well, I'm flying to New York on Monday, and Monday has been already deemed because there's a huge storm that's passing through the Northeast and the Midwest, and they've already shut down the city. And they basically said exactly what it is that you just said. Do not go outside. Don't go to work. No school for the kids. Just stay at home. And I think Mem Dami said, watch a bad reality show, but do not go outside. You know,
that's the real snow day.
Nobody, obviously don't wish this on anybody, but if you do get hypothermia, there are worse ways to go. Because what happens to you when you get hypothermia is you become delusional. And there's stories of people who are dying of hypothermia, say in Fargo, and nobody's coming for them, and they're trapped in their vehicle and they're outside. They'll start taking off their clothes and saying, God, it's so warm out here. And they'll just start going on a jog. There's people that I swim with that have been hypothermic and had to be pulled from the water, and they have this smile on their face, and they're like, no, I feel good. I want to swim another cove. I want to do another mile. They're like, bro, you've been in the water too long. and you pull them out, and then you have to resuscitate them. But there's a state of euphoria when you're in this hypothermic state that when you die from hypothermia, it's sort of a pleasant way to go.
Well, I think that's because your body, there's only 2 times that it produces DMT, which is, I think, associated more with a psychedelic drug. But you produce DMT when you enter life and you pass. So
is that like endorphins, or is that?
Yeah, it's supposed to create a feeling of sensation. I mean, I don't know. I've never done DMT, but I think that's why people do it. Like, I've listened to Tyson, and I think Aaron Rodgers has talked about it. But this drug that you can use in order to experience basically this, like when people say they have near-death experiences, they see a white light or a tunnel or something. That's your body producing. There's this certain gland that kicks in order to, your body feels that it's dying, and it wants to make death a more, like you're talking about, pleasurable experience. And I think that's why a lot of people, when they're stuck in the water and your body's breaking down and just basically shutting down, that it produces a certain drug, and that drug is DMT. Anyways.
Can you get it over the counter?
No, but you can.
Can you smoke it?
I don't know if you smoke it or not. Like, I've had my experience and my fair share of experiences with particular drugs. DMT is not one of them. I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's something you ingest or you inject. I don't know.
Pasta, here comes the segue.
Pasta, get on that.
Let's rate this
Let's
thing.
inject Austin in San Jose into this conversation.
8.5, not bad.
No, get us back into Warriors this week, Austin. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, that's a different show. I mean, you're talking Dr. Dean Adele type show you need to have, man, if you want to go down that road. I mean, and by the way, Dr. Dean was fire, man. He was good for a lot of years. He probably before your time, though, because he was on the other station.
ABC local television.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he was the man. But listen, and the other thing I wanted to say was when you talk about Dan and his travel, you should play that whoop sound every time he says he's flying somewhere. You guys need to say that whoop whoop thing because
he owns a spaceship, Austin. I don't know if you know this.
I mean, I want to live my life through Dan. Sounds like this guy has a good life. But hey, listen, guys, the Warriors. So listen, we know the Kuminga thing. I've been listening to podcasts from other athletes that have no connection to the Warriors, and some of them did, and they've been very, very outspoken. And for the most part, Kerr's getting killed. I don't know if you guys realize that, but I feel like the local media is really protecting Kerr. Outside the Bay Area, with the exception of a few athletes, Richard Jefferson came out the other day and spoke in favor of Kerr, but he went to Arizona, so I kind of discount that a little bit. But to me, it's bigger than Kerr. It's bigger than J.K. To me, Lacob, if he's light years that, Dan, you guys keep telling us, and Steiny says he's a killer, and, I think now's the time for us to really see if that's true. He made a safe pick, and we talk about safe picks in terms of NFL and DCs and OCs. Well, I think I'm starting to believe that Dunleavy was a safe pick now. I don't think it was a pick that was necessary. I think he could have made a bigger GM pick, and now the other day with his comments about not having a market. Guys, I've been in corporate for a lot of years. That was amateur hour that Dunleavy displayed. He showed me then and there that he's really not the guy to take the Warriors to the next level, in my opinion. So here's what I would do, Dan. I want your opinion because I kind of threw this at Evan the other day. I want to know what you think. If we're going to talk about reset, rebuild, I think you need to move, let Kerr gracefully leave and thank him for his contributions. I would also get rid of Dunleavy at the same time because I don't think you can move Kerr and keep Dunleavy. Why? Because the roster construction needs to be reset. And I would have a hard time believing that Dunleavy would be able to do it given that some of the roster decisions were his. So I would like to bring in a completely new GM, completely new coaching staff. Let's re-examine the roster and someone that really finally, guys, can look Lacob in the eye and based on experience and everything else, to be able to make the change that'll take the organization to the next level. Let's keep Steph for 2 years, but there's no reason why we can't keep Steph and have something better around him, guys. What do you think about that? Thanks.
That's an interesting thought, Austin. Yeah, he tossed that at us. I think it was either yesterday or Thursday, but what are your thoughts about it?
I think that it begins and ends with Joe Lacob. So the reason why you get a Dunleavy is because Joe Lacob wants somebody that he has somewhat control over, or he's going to be able to blow in his ear, which is why you got there's got to be demand. And so it's almost like a Jerry Jones-esque situation. Jerry Jones is going to hire people that he knows he can be the puppeteer, and he's always going to have his finger on the pulse. It takes sort of a different sort of owner that's like, okay, you got run of the place. Do as you please. Do whatever the hell it is that you want to do. And I don't think Lacob's that kind of guy. I think Lacob wants his fingerprints on all of these decisions subtly, even though it begins and ends with a fall guy like that of Dunleavy. So I don't know that it would make a difference of whoever it is that you bring in. And it's interesting because I'm with him. I think it's, for a different reason, I think it's time for Kerr to walk. And what's interesting is that if that's the case, usually your GM and your coach have to be on the same page. In other words, if the coach is going to go, then more often than not, you want to get rid of your GM and bring two guys in who are familiar with each other, that have a background together, and that can build something going forward. You don't want your GM and your coach to have different outlooks or to be on a completely different trajectory in terms of how this team gets better. That never works.
No, but I wouldn't be willing to move on from Dunleavy yet. I understand what Austin's saying. You want to start from the ground up. You want to start fresh. He wants different eyes from the outside, inside this organization. But to me, Dunleavy was hired to keep this team as competitive as possible. And until you decide that you no longer want to do that, AKA you are just going to try and restart this thing, I don't really understand why you would let him go. And as long as Steph Curry's on the team, I don't know, you don't owe him the world, but I do think you owe him the opportunity to compete at whatever level you can. I don't think that basically pulling the plug on this season and next season is going to sit well with 30. And that is something you have to consider. So until you're willing to do that, to me, Mike Dunleavy is still the guy for this job. As for Steve Kerr, I think this could and should be his last season. Because one thing, too, is he's not done a great job this year, I think. And it also doesn't look like he's enjoying this at all. I don't think he enjoys having to go to the podium every single day and talk about Jonathan Kuminga and where the Warriors are going as a franchise. All of that with less than a year left on his deal. To me, there's going to be a mutual parting of the ways, what I think is going to happen. They're going to mutually part at the end of this season. They're going to try and find a younger coach. Maybe it's from within. Maybe it's from the outside. And just continue to patchwork this thing together until they're willing to do what they have not been willing to, which is restart.
Anytime I talk about Steve Kerr, I always want to preface that this guy knows more about basketball and winning in one finger than I do in my entire body. He's got 10 NBA championships as a player, as a coach, all right? So I defer to him on all matters. He knows his players intimately better than I. He's there at practice. He's a player. He's done it all. But that does not mean that we can't criticize or go after him. I mean, I think he understands it, that he signs up. I mean, that's the nature of this beast. He signs up for that as being a head coach of any team in the NBA. Again, when we have an opportunity, I want to go back to what happened with Draymond Green in that Dallas game, because I think it's also an indictment of where we're at now as far as the Warriors going forward and how sad it was. Just absolutely sad. And it just suddenly hit me in the face like, this is what you've been reduced to. This is the exit for the Warriors. Jimmy Butler's gone. Draymond Green fouls out of this game after having one of these ridiculous fits and going after Dwight Powell of all people. Again, the fake bully Draymond Green, yelling at refs who have absolutely nothing to do with this, right? This was not a questionable call. They went to the video replay and upgraded it to a flagrant. He's yelling at refs. He's not very good. And he comes to the sidelines, and guess what happens? We've seen this 1,000,001 times. Steve Kerr pats him on the back and says, have a seat. And he lives in this delusional bubble that what it is that I'm doing is okay. I saw that, and I'm like, I've seen that so many times, but now, for whatever reason, it jumped out at me as like, this is so sad. Steve, it's time for you to go. Like, I get it. You want to ride out with these guys, but Draymond is absolutely becoming a joke. He's becoming an angry old man that can no longer produce. And the fact that you continue to coddle this guy is also something that is, I think, by the rest of the league is sort of laughing at you now. And you're a guy who obviously is a Hall of Fame, respectable when you talk about Steve Kerr. But this, what we've been reduced to now is a joke with you and Draymond Green, and the fact that you continue to protect this guy when he's absolutely out of his mind. And that's where we're at now. And it's a far cry from having Jimmy Butler and even getting into the playoffs and contending for titles.
Well, just getting into the playoffs is really the goal at this point. But that is one thing that I also, if Steve Kerr leaves at the end of this season, which I believe is going to happen, I also feel like Draymond kind of has to go with him, because the two are in many ways the same, or they're representations of the fall from grace of this dynasty in Golden State. And I think you were able to hold on to it when you had Butler and Curry was playing at that level. And I think his numbers are probably going to come down now just because he's going to get triple teamed every time he walks across half court. But Draymond is, it reminds me a lot of Klay Thompson's last season, where Klay was, I think, more disagreeable behind the scenes, but you can just see it each and every night. Sometimes Draymond plays well, and it's like every other night he has one of these moments, and you're sitting there left wondering, what are we going to do next season with this guy? And he's got one more year left. I mean, I do think also, too, it'd be hard to have another coach come in and coach Draymond Green. To me, Steve Kerr's kind of the only guy that can do it because of an example that you just presented. He's the only guy that is willing to pat Draymond Green on the back repeatedly for the mistakes that he makes. I don't know if there's anybody else that'd be willing to do that. And so at that point, can you really have someone else come in? If you want to bring in another head coach, I also think you have to look for an exit ramp for Draymond and figure out if there's some way that you can replace production that isn't there this year, too. It'd be different if the juice was still worth the squeeze with him, but I think that's all finally coming to a head this year, and it's been heading in this direction for some time.
Callers?
Yeah, let's go to 888-957-9570 is the number. Dan Devone and Evan Giddings with you on Warriors This Week. I'll talk to our guy AJ, who's in L.A. Good morning, AJ. Hope you're well, man. What's going on?
I'm doing very well. Thank you, man. Head coaching is a thankless job, What we learned over the last many years, this is a job where, essentially you're hired to get fired, man. And despite Steve Kerr trophy success, we have to look at the fact that this is a young man's game, even from a coaching standpoint, man, just having fresh ideas and leadership and all that. And as you guys know, I don't sacrifice an opportunity to bash Steve Kerr, but the bottom line is this. He hasn't done a very good job in many years, if you really consider it. That just what's been going on maybe the last 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years, even with the championship in 2022. That was starting to look like a bad year, and Steph Curry, Wiggins, and Poole went nuclear. And even in that year, Draymond Green in the championship, he was literally unplayable. And so, I hate the thought of being reactive instead of proactive. But I think this organization would do itself a favor and just be proactive, man. Like, forget about waiting until just letting these guys walk off into the sunlight or whatever you want to do. You just got to just do it and stop just being afraid. I think that Dunleavy is powerless. Even when he was hired, I was thinking, this dude doesn't have any power. He doesn't have any say-so. 2 days after getting hired, his first assignment was moving Jordan Poole, something that, Steve Kerr and Draymond and the organization screwed up. So you mean to tell me he was the decision maker on making one of the worst trades in this era, Rollins' first-round pick, Jordan Poole for a 40-year-old CP3 and a salary slot you never use, I mean, that's an amateur mistake. And we all know that Steve Kerr wasn't a very good GM with the Suns. That has Steve Kerr name written all over it. Just like in this Jonathan Kuminga situation, it has Steve Kerr name written all over it. And see, one thing that we're all afraid to admit about this whole thing is that JK, the player, his value is high because teams know they can get him for cheap. However, the trade value is extremely low. The trade value is the team is responsible for that. They ruin the trade package because I can guarantee you guys what's going to end up happening here is that wherever Jonathan Kuminga go, he's going to be a starter 30-plus minute a night player. Whoever the Warriors get in return is going to be a Honda Civic with a check engine light on. So if you look at the whole thing, the trade value is just low. That's the problem. The trade value is terrible. But if you want to do yourself a favor and get this bad juju off you, move that kid, man. Let him go and start his career, man. Let him have a career. Stop ruining his career. It makes no sense, man. It makes absolutely no sense.
I got you, AJ. Appreciate the call, man. Well, unfortunately now I don't know if the Warriors are going to move him because, like you said, you need it right now. They're basically back to the team they were before Jimmy Butler, just without Andrew Wiggins. And Kuminga was a major part of that team because you had no other choice.
You got to do something with the $54 million. That albatross cannot just simply hang around your neck for the next year.
I don't know what they can do with it, though. Yeah. It's like, who's willing to take it is the problem.
Dallas.
So that was one that I brought up the other day that people poo-pooed, and I really don't know. I don't understand why you can turn down any thought, but all right. Jimmy Butler for Anthony Davis. The Warriors would also, I think the trade I saw, this from CBS Sports, it would be Butler and Kuminga for Davis, Clay, and Jaden Hardy. Does that interest you at all? You just don't want Clay back.
Well, no. Yeah. You got to do something. So, yeah. I mean, it's both of, either way, whether you're Dallas or the Warriors, it comes with high trepidation, right? All those players have warts. And so, but
there's no perfect player here. The other one that I've heard thrown around is just a Kuminga for DeRozan swap. You know, kind of just bring in a placeholder and try and figure it out. If anybody's got any suggestions, 888-957-9570 is the number. We continue to talk about that. We also got to get into some of Curry's comments from the other night. Warriors do play today. They got a game. They have to put their head down and continue to roll the ball out there against the T-Wolves today, I should say, at 2:30. Warriors live at 1:30. This is Warriors This Week with Evan Giddings and Dan Devone. We continue after this on 95.7 The Game.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
We finally switched to T-Mobile because with them, we can be connected here and there.
Listos todos. Estas son las mañanas.
Now we just need to harmonize.
Switch today. Get 4 Samsung Galaxy S25 phones with Galaxy AI. Plus, get 4 lines for just $25 per line. Visit a store, T-Mobile.com, or call 1-800-T-Mobile. With 24 monthly bill credits, 4 new lines, and 4 eligible trade-ins. For well-qualified customers with auto pay plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement required.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Hey, it's Willard for Underdog Fantasy. Let's keep having fun. These football playoffs are rolling on, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all this action because you can make picks and win money right now in California. Playing on Underdog is easy as you know. You pick your favorite players. They're going to go higher or lower on all the stats, touchdowns, rushing yards, interceptions, whatever. Get them right, pair them up. You can win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, you got good defenses in these playoffs. You got weather in certain environments. I would really lean toward going lower than on passing yardage for a lot of these quarterbacks coming up. That's kind of been the trend. Underdog make picks, win money. Must be 18 or over and present in California. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or go online ncpgambling.org.
In sports, success is about team effort, and the same is true for your hair. At Great Clips, we save your haircut details in clip notes, so every member of the highly skilled team knows exactly how to create your signature look. And with our easy-to-use app, you can check in from anywhere and get a ready next text when you're up next for a cut. It's the confidence of a great haircut delivered by a team you trust. Download our app today. Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Kick off the new year with an exhilarating journey. Grab the keys to a new Toyota truck and turn every day into an adventure. Get low 1.99% APR plus $1,000 finance cash on the 2025 Tacoma. Or get low 2.99% APR plus $1,000 finance cash on the 2026 Tundra. Make this year an unforgettable one in a reliable Toyota truck. Toyota. Let's go places. Offers available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credit and cannot be combined with other offers. Finance cash must be applied to transaction. Ends 2/2/26.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9871. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9871. That's 800-575-9871. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Paramount
Paramount Plus is the new home of UFC, and we're coming out swinging with UFC 324.
Oh, what a shot!
And 325 on back-to-back weekends. The new era is here.
It's time!
Every fight.
Bam!
Yes! On one subscription.
Oh my goodness!
Pay-per-view just got knocked out. Back-to-back blockbuster UFC events this month, only on Paramount Plus.
95.7 The Game congratulates our sister station Live 105 on being named Legendary Station of 2026 by the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. We welcome you to join them as they celebrate January 30th in Alameda. Get your tickets and all the details at 957thegame.com.
Ishmianor looking for the inbounds to Schaaf. Schaaf turns, one, fires. Schaaf hits it at the buzzer! And St. Mary's sinks Pepperdine. They're going to review this, but it looked good. Out of the hands of Abigail Schaaf.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah. Was that the dream?
No, that
was that against?
That was the call. You didn't hear the call? It was St. Mary's and Pepperdine.
Oh, I didn't hear Pepperdine.
Yeah, St. Mary's sinks Pepperdine, man. Come on.
The Wave? Are they still a Wave?
Yeah, they are the Waves. They're actually building a brand new basketball facility. So they have this.
Go Green Wave!
For people who haven't been to Malibu, right?
That's a beautiful
it's right on the cliffs. It's just it really pisses me off, honestly, that I wasn't smart enough to get into a place like Pepperdine.
Well, are they still like Quaker denomination or they're religious affiliation?
I forget what their religious affiliation is.
I want to say like one day of the week, like on a Wednesday, you have to spend like a majority of the day doing Quaker things or going to church.
I think they do have a religious requirements. Yeah, so Christianity and culture, they are, they just say a Christian university. They might have changed it. But anyways, it's up on the cliffs in Malibu. It's just, it's like so
rich white kids.
So freaking scenic.
It's crazy.
And they have this old gym there, Firestone Fieldhouse. It's been there for 50 years.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's, tight gym. I wouldn't say maybe a little bigger than if people have been to USF's, like up on the hilltop, their gym, which has also been around for a long time. But it gets loud in there. And so they're building this new facility, and it's all the hoopla at Pepperdine. It's supposed to be able to help them, recruit new people and all this. But it just had me thinking, because there was a player who played for Pepperdine who got to the league recently, something Lewis, I want to say. Anyways, but their basketball program has been kind of just dormant and sitting there for a long time. And I could never figure out, maybe because it's too expensive, maybe because the academic requirements are so great, but I could never figure out why that place can't recruit. Like, you have everything. You got beautiful weather. You got a beautiful location for a young 18-year. You got beautiful women on that campus. You got everything. And every single year, they just come in bottom 3 in the West Coast Conference.
I used to say the same thing about the University of Hawaii. Like, well, why would you not go to school here?
Church of Christ. That's from the 650 is what Pepperdine is.
Okay.
Well, Hawaii's kind of...
It's isolated.
Off the beaten path, yeah.
And then you're also never playing in front of primetime, nationally televised audiences. It's
because your CBS games, Sports.
Yeah, but your games would go off, which is like, 9 in the morning. Well, no.
Well,
it's just odd times.
The Big West also isn't a big basketball
super
conference.
Late back east. In order for you to get any recognition, the East Coast has to recognize you. And everyone's asleep by the time Hawaii's playing a football game.
But that's the interesting part about the West Coast Conference is now I think it's because of the prominence of Gonzaga. St. Mary's is competitive and has been for years, but Gonzaga really, just because of their year in and year out national dominance, they've sort of elevated the conference, which is why it's tough that they're going to be leaving. I think they're going to the Pac-12, the new Pac-12 next season. But as a result of that, you now have ESPN, CBS, all these packages that are promoting the West Coast Conference. And that's why I do wonder about how some of these programs aren't able to get in on that with some of that exposure. If you're Santa Barbara or Long Beach State, UCSD is actually kind of the cream of the crop right now in the Big West.
It's another beautiful school.
It's fantastic. But I understand there's no exposure for you. Pepperdine's got a couple national games a year. You're going to Gonzaga. You're going to St. Mary's. Santa Clara is pretty competitive this season. Like, you have opportunities to showcase your school and your program. Whew, I would go to Pepperdine. Good
Only thing
Lord.
about Pepperdine is that it's right off the PCH, and it's one of the most dangerous stretches of about 20 miles of highway right there off of Malibu. You hear about fatalities on the daily there. Caitlyn Jenner, formerly Bruce Jenner, killed somebody. There's a lot of, I think that's where Tiger Woods took his header. Remember when he got hurt and almost died?
Well, he was speeding.
Well, everybody does, but it's sort of this two-lane. It's so dangerous. And there's a lot of kids, as a matter of fact, a lot of fatalities with a lot of Malibu kids or a lot of kids out of Pepperdine that died from head-on collisions.
This is from the 707. Brandon Armstrong got drafted out of Pepperdine in 2001. He averaged 21 points a game. He's from Vallejo. Shout out to BA. All right, Dan.
We do a little Draymond if you want to take the call, but at some point we've got to talk about it.
I wasn't going to go to a call. I was going to do what you hate, which was go to sound. So you want to get
go ahead. Get this out of the way.
No. We could talk about Draymond.
No, what kind of sound are you going to play? Unless it's Allen Iverson saying practice 35
No,
times.
here's actually, this was one don't worry, it's short, but I think it's pretty funny. This was Steve Kerr. He was asked about Draymond's night against Dallas.
Perfect.
It wasn't his night. Yeah, I mean, he'd be the first to tell you. He didn't really have it going, and tough night for him, but he'll bounce back.
It wasn't his night, Dan.
Oh, Steve Kerr, where do I start? So,
what do you want him to say? Dre's cooked?
I want him to be a little bit more Mike Brown-esque. Call him out like he did to Carl.
Mike Brown's not the head coach's favorite guy in New York.
No, but at least he had the cojones to call out Karl Anthony Towns. And just at least, what do I always tell you? That there has to be some sort of structure. This gets back to the turnovers. And I know that you have to tread lightly because it's a players' league. You can't lose the players. It's all about the relationships. But there has to be some sense of discipline. And there never has been when it comes to Draymond. What it is that he did against Dallas, and it may seem innocuous to people. To me, it was a bridge too far. Done with this guy. Get him the hell out of town. He lost that game for the Warriors. It was literally hanging in the balance. They were going back and forth with the Mavericks. And they were down by a digit, 105, 104, when he went Draymond. And again, it's a game where he's turning the ball over. He's not very good. And so when he does it now, to me, it stands out and it becomes that much more of an eyesore. And so with the game 105, 104, and it's a close game, and the Warriors are hanging with Dallas, and Dallas is a beatable team. They're just not very good these days. And he goes after Dwight Powell. He just throws this right arm, like he gives him an elbow to the chest.
It's a cheap shot.
And of course, I told you this at the break, there's that fake tough guy. Like it's Colin Gillespie. It's Dwight Powell, a Canadian from Stanford. I don't know if this dude's ever been in a fight in his life. And he's just like caught off guard. He doubles over like, what the hell are you doing? Then he takes out Max Christie on a vicious foul. It wasn't upgraded. The Dwight Powell was upgraded. And then he starts to go after the referees. The referees don't have a play in this. And even Brent Barry on the broadcast. By the way, if you happen to go to a Warrior game and you see Brent Barry calling a game, you can give me the big drop here. He's a buddy back in the day. Go say, I do a show with Dan Avon. He's good people.
When he was with Seattle?
Yeah, and so Brent Barry, he even pointed out, he's like, who is Draymond yelling at? Why is he yelling at the referees? The referees have nothing to do with this. This is an embarrassing display for an aging player that is no longer any good. And then he fouls out of the game. And from that point forward, by the way, the Mavericks go on like a 12-0 run, game over. The momentum shifted on a dime because of the stupidity of one man, Draymond Green, who lost you that basketball game. Again, goes to the sidelines. And I mean, not metaphorically, literally, he gets a pat on the back from Steve Kerr. Like, go sit down. It's okay. And then Steve Kerr gives you that postgame. That's what you're reduced to. This one-time good basketball player and this one-time good coach now on exit stage left from the NBA and leaving this sport and leaving it like this. This is embarrassing, where Draymond Green's losing you basketball games and you're still defending him. This is about as sad as it can get for the Golden State Warriors when you were envisioning how this is going to end. Like dynasties, we know they never end well, but this is not the road you want to take.
But his commitment, Kerr's commitment to Draymond, to me it's symbolic of where the Warriors are at. Where Kerr would rather, and I think it's who he is, and I respect him for it, but at the same time, it's why you're in the position you are. He's, on some nights, it feels like more concerned about Draymond Green and making sure that Draymond feels good about himself than the other things that are happening in the game. Because you're right, Draymond and that pivotal point in the game was what I think sort of swung the momentum back to Dallas and ended up costing them the game. But the difference was, in the past, Draymond was good enough to make a flagrant foul or do something dumb and impact the rest of the game to an extent where the Warriors would win. He's not good enough to do that anymore. He's not good enough to make those mental mistakes or make those intentional decisions that are costing his team and then go out and back it up. That, to me, is really what's coming into focus this year for Draymond. Is he still talks the talk, but he can't walk the walk anymore. And Steve Kerr is still trying to make him feel like he can. And that's why the Warriors are sad to watch some nights, like against Dallas. It's because you're watching a head coach who's trying to, kind of coddle, in a sense, this future Hall of Famer. Draymond, great player in his past, but he's towards the end. And Steve Kerr is trying to give him this like emotional soft landing in a game that's spiraling out of control. And for fans, I think it's just really frustrating to watch in real time happen.
And what it is that he said about Pelle Larsson. Who the hell's Pelle Larsson? Yeah, I'm with you. He's this European player that apparently, according to Draymond Green, is a dirty player. And then he went on to indict all European players as being, they're sneaky dirty. And he goes as far as to say, instead of just leaving that alone, he's like, I know, I've been on the receiving end. You can't catch them. Like, refs don't catch them, but they're sneaky dirty. And he singles out Pelle Larsson. And then he goes here. And this is why maybe I'm going after Draymond Green this week. He goes here, I am not a dirty player. He's like, don't get it crooked. He's like, if you know anything about NBA, I am not a dirty player. He's like, you can't play for Tom Izzo if you're a dirty player. First of all, I'm so tired of Tom Izzo. Tom Izzo, the hell with Tom Izzo.
Hey, easy. All right, he taught Draymond, but he's not in this.
But here's the thing, is that
I like Izzo.
He's the quintessential dirty player. Did you see what it is that he did to Karl Anthony Towns last week?
I was just going to bring that up because that's the origin of the angst in New York right now, right? Everyone's pissed at Mike Brown
Hugging
on the
it
Knicks
out.
Because he went and dapped up Draymond after the game in which he took a cheap shot
No,
at
not
his
after
best
the game.
player.
During the game.
Mike Brown, I thought it was Mike Brown hugging Draymond.
During the game.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, well, there was a dead ball timeout. He had just cheap shotted Karl Anthony Towns. And instead of having Karl Anthony Towns back, he literally went to Draymond because Draymond was getting into beef with somebody else and said, you're not going to hug me? And he hugged it out with Karl Anthony Towns. Listen, I spend time in New York. Karl Anthony Towns is public enemy number one, and Brown is number two. The only reason they won't get rid of Brown because the Knicks are going to look stupid and embarrassed because they just hired the guy. Karl Anthony Towns, you do not want to be a bad player and have the wrath of New York as well as the media on your arse, and that's exactly what's going on with Karl Anthony Towns. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. And Mike Brown hugging it out with Draymond Green just accelerated all of it. But here's Draymond. Can you imagine if somebody was on the ground and grabbed Draymond Green's ankle as he tried to walk by or run by? He'd be screaming bloody murder. And this for a guy, when I heard him say, I'm not a dirty player, how many times did you kick Steven Adams in the junk? Like, I advise everybody, just go to YouTube and put in Draymond Green dirty plays. It's about 20 minutes of it. It's ridiculous how bad and how much of a cheap shot this guy is. And for him to say that on his podcast, whatever platform he's using, that was a bridge too far. I'm like, dude, you're now delusional. You're like, and the reason why you're delusional is because Steve Kerr has enabled you. When you walk to the sidelines, instead of there being some checks and balances, he's patting you on the back. You think this is okay, and you think you're not a dirty player. You actually are living in a completely different planet and universe that you think that this is all plausible. Brother, you and Steve Kerr need to hit the bricks. I hate to say that because I love Steve Kerr. Maybe I'm getting a little too emotional, but the fact that he's patting him on the back and saying it's okay, that's not okay, Coach.
No,
and I thought Coach stood for principle. I thought Coach was about doing it the right way, both politically and outside of his life. Why the hell is he, if he cares about people, why is he giving that a pass? Is he afraid? Is he intimidated by Draymond?
No, I think it's because his allegiance is more to Steph and Draymond than it is to the team. I mean, those are his guys, and he's not under contract next year. Again, I don't know this for a fact, but I feel like it's one of those dirty little secrets that everybody in the league knows and just isn't public yet, that Steve Kerr's not going to be back next year with the Warriors. If that is the case, wouldn't you spend your final days with the guys that you rode in with, just trying to ride out as best as possible? Like, you're not gonna reprimand those guys because you know you only have so many days left. Think about it. If you were at a job, and I'm sure you have been, where maybe you turn your 2 weeks in, or all right, this is the end of my contract. I got about a year left, and you got a few guys that you really like working with, and a guy messes up during the show. Are you really going to kill him the way you'd kill him if you were going to hold him accountable 5 years ago? Or if you even considered holding him accountable, of which there's been no prior track record of doing? I think that's the way that I look at it. When I see Steve Kerr backing up Draymond, I don't necessarily see him not doing something that he should. I see him acting the exact same way that he's acted their entire relationship, and their relationship as head coach and player might be coming to an end. So I feel like they're trying to make the most of it. And unfortunately, we as the viewers of this product are the ones that have to suffer for it.
If that's the case, I would think Steve Kerr is smart enough of a guy to go to management or to whomever, to Joe Lacob, and saying, you know what, I'm too invested in these guys that I can no longer see this objectively. It's time for me to go. Like, if that's where he's at with Draymond, where he gets to this point where he's losing games and it's okay, then he should have the realization, like, I can no longer coach this team objectively, and I'm not doing them a favor because I like these guys. And to your point that, I want to go out being their friend. Like, he should be smart enough of all people where he should have come to that realization and been able to say, get somebody else. Let's go to a call.
Let's go to Chris, who's in San Jose. I think he's on your side. Good morning, Chris. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Definitely get to this call then.
Good morning. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And however they've enabled Draymond to act an ass like he's been doing for all these years, they sent him to therapy. He had a final report from a therapist who, I guess, calmed him down. What did the report say? He's okay now. He ain't cured. He's got a problem. I know he didn't have a father. A father would not let a kid grow up acting like an ass. And pardon my French, but he is acting like a bully. He only picks on foreign players from foreign countries. He won't pick on no brothers from the hood. Beefsteak would kick his ass. I'm sorry. This guy, I'm ticked off. I wrote the NBA about Draymond, and you know what they said? They wrote a letter back and said, oh, he's fine. It's going to be another Malice in the Palace if Steve Kerr bows down and Steph Curry, oh, I'm a leader, but I'm afraid to say anything to Draymond. You don't run KD out of town for Draymond and then give him $100 million. You've got to be off your rocker. We want to watch basketball. What we're looking at now is a clown show, a circus. You got a guard who looks like a clown. You got little guards who are playing down in the paint where they don't belong, and Draymond is grabbing people wherever he can grab them. Everyone knows it. They're letting this guy get away with you know what, and it's wrong. Thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it, Chris. Hope you have a good day.
Passion, man.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you know what?
I get it, man. People are pissed off watching this.
That's
bad
the other
product.
thing, because if Steve Kerr was here right now, he would say, "Hey, Dan, I don't know. I'm assuming this is what he would say. His passion for the game and what it is that you're pointing out, Dan, are inseparable, right? His passion and living on that edge is the reason why we were so good. And he might be right. But here's what I would say to Coach. What you're mistaking for passion, it's actually rage. It's actually, what you're witnessing with this guy is that he is not well adjusted. And look, we all deal with rage issues, right? I don't care who you are, whatever it is that you do. We have moments where we just lose it. This is not passion. This is somebody that's enraged for whatever reason. And if you really cared about him, that's the way you would frame this when dealing with this guy, instead of conflating it with, it's just, he's a passionate guy, Dan, and that's what it is that he's been throughout his NBA career. No, this is an unhealthy man that has rage issues or whatever it is that he's repressed that's manifesting itself in his head in the latter stages of his life. That's what's going on with you. This dude every single night's got to go after a referee. Every single night is going to cheap shot somebody. And then to get on a podcast and saying, I'm not a cheap shot. Done, bro. Next.
Well, I was talking to someone. I was at the doctor's office yesterday, popped out while I was waiting for my parents to stop by, and I jumped. It's not the athletic club anymore. It's
on the corner there?
Yeah, right on Sutter and DeViz. Yeah. Anyway, so pop in there, having a drink, talking to the bartender, and he's a big sports fan. So I ask, I don't know. People like to ask us what we think. I'd prefer to just talk to you as a Warriors fan and see what you feel about something. So I asked him, what do you think about Draymond? And he goes, for as intelligent as he proclaims to be, the guy has no understanding of time and place whatsoever. And then he goes, and as for Steve Kerr, I don't know what the bleep that guy's doing, man. Like he just unloaded. And this is, passionate Warriors fan, and I appreciate it. But this is how they've always operated. And it's not an excuse, but it's just a fact that I don't get why we're so up in arms and surprised. Like, you weren't surprised about Jimmy Butler tearing his ACL. Hyperbole, but earlier you weren't surprised that he got hurt. I'm not surprised that Draymond's acting like an ass. He's done it his entire career. I'm not surprised that Steve Kerr has not just patted him on the back, but gone to bat for him at the podium after he takes a cheap shot at Dwight Powell, maybe loses the Warriors the game, because that's what he's always done. What we're now figuring out is that finally is coming to a head, and the Warriors have to make a choice of whether they want this to continue for another year, because this is what it's going to be for the rest of the season. The Warriors aren't really going anywhere. I don't think they have a great chance to make the postseason. That left with Jimmy Butler's ACL. Now, how do you want to go out? And odds are it's going to go out the exact same way that it did on Thursday night in Dallas, because that's who Draymond is and that's who Steve Kerr is. So we can sit up here and complain about it every single week and be pissed off at Dre and Kerr and everyone else who's had to watch this crap around them. But I don't understand why we're so surprised by all of it. It's been over 10 years. Draymond threatened his head coach the second season that they were together in OKC at halftime. He threatened to harm his head coach, and the coach didn't do anything about it. That, to me, is as big of evidence as you need. Whew. All right, we got to hit a break, and I'm sorry about that. I do want to get to a couple calls on the other side at 888-957-9570. Devone's bringing the heat today. He's got one more hour it takes for you. Stick around, 95.7 The Game.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for Warriors Live, 60 minutes before tip-off. Every Warriors game throughout the season as we get ready for the action. Presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
I am dedicated. I am TNT.
With Team in Training, you will reach your best physical self so blood cancer patients can reach theirs. Change your life by joining a marathon, half marathon, triathlon, or a cycle event, and you'll change the lives of blood cancer patients.
I am committed. I am TNT.
After 600,000 participants and almost $1 billion raised for treatments, TNT has helped the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society make a significant impact in the advancement of blood cancer therapies that save lives every day.
I am making a difference. I am TNT.
Join TNT. Expand your circle of friends to be part of a very special community. Train with world-class trainers and have the chance to be part of the most exciting endurance sports events in the country. Or train on your own schedule with TNT Flex. Join TNT and fundraise while you train and take part in getting us all closer to a world without blood cancers.
Join TNT now. Go to teamintraining.org.
The NFL is taking over the Bay Area. Experience football like never before with Super Bowl Experience presented by Jersey Mike's February 3rd through 7th at the Moscone Center. Tickets start at just $40 and kids 12 and under attend for free. Visit superbowl.com to buy your tickets today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
What is it that makes the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid an incredible SUV? Is it the spacious interior that's comfy for the whole crew? Or the capability to go off-road? Maybe it's up to 600-plus miles of range. What if it's all of that and more? What is it then? The all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. So much more than just another SUV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage, no medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Music legend John Mellencamp is coming to the Bay Area on August 12th at Shoreline Amphitheater. Buy your tickets at livenation.com for your chance to win tickets to the show, courtesy of Live Nation. Visit the contest page at 957thegame.com.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at Video Only, not online or at the club.
Video Only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM in HD1 San Francisco on Odyssey Sports Station. Always live on the free Odyssey app, Twitch, and YouTube. Powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah. That's it. No. We have poked the bear. That's all you got to do is throw a little Draymond Green raw meat out there.
A little chum in the water. I was talking to someone this week about this event that I got to do next week, and I was asking about emceeing. And one of the pieces of advice that I told you off the air was he just goes, just throw them a little red meat. They're all wolves out there. They're going to be drunk, and cocktail hour is going to send them off into this money spending spree, which is the whole point of the fundraiser. Just throw a couple jokes in there, throw some red meat to the crowd. You'll be fine. That's what you're doing right now with Draymond.
I gave a quick story before we get to the phone calls. So this is probably what you don't want to have happen. I emceed, I think it was the Seattle Hall of Fame luncheon, and I thought I would be really funny, and I went out there with these jokes, and I mean crickets. Nothing's more lonelier when you get up there, and I have this panel, and I'm at the dais, and I'm sitting there, and I'm addressing a room full of people at this banquet, and I'm emceeing this thing, and I'm throwing out jokes, and I mean nobody's laughing. Nobody's laughing, except one guy in the corner, and his name was Frosty Westering, and I think he's like the winningest college football coach of all time. He was like,
that's not a real name.
I swear to God, you can look it up. And so he would just sit there. He's this old guy. He's the winningest coach. He was going into the Hall of Fame. And I would say these jokes. No one would laugh at you. You would hear this old guy in the corner who had a beer in his hand. And we were honoring him. And he would just go, oh, Dad. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, I'd said another joke. Crickets. Nobody's laughing. I finally had to acknowledge Frosty and saying, well, thank God Frosty's here today because he's the only guy who's enjoying these jokes.
Well, at least there was one person, although I don't know if it's worse if you have one guy who's laughing as opposed to just none. You might as well shut it down. So there was, I don't know, do you know the rapper T.I.?
Yeah.
So apparently he's trying to become a comedian now.
T.I.?
T.I., yeah. So Pasta, that's true. T.I. did a comedy stand-up special. I don't know what it was on, where it was released. All I know is that Guru had sent me a couple of clips because he wanted to know what I think. Because I go to a lot of comedy shows. I'm not like the biggest guy. But anyways, so he sends me these clips. They're absolutely awful. I mean, he is not funny. Like, that dude does not have a comedic bone in his body. He is an incredible rapper. He is, from all accounts, an activist now. He's a very important person. He's an entertainer, but he is not funny. Some people they're just not going to be able to make people laugh. I'm not a comedian. I could not get up there and tell jokes for an hour and a half, and I'd like to think that I know that about myself. But Tip Harris found out the wrong way that you can't just do everything because you've been on a stage before.
Well, it's not Patrick O'Connor, or is it Fritzy? On Dan Patrick's The Danettes?
Oh, Fritzy. Yeah, is he gone now, or is he still there?
Really? He's like their cheaper. He's the guy who books all the guests. Fritzy's not there.
He was
anymore?
the one who whoop. He was the one I got an email from him when McLovin's gone. I got an email from Fritzy a couple years ago when I had to go do the hit.
Well, he tried his hand at stand-up comedy.
Did he?
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It was bad. It was really bad. It was a little bit. I mean, he was actually pretty clever, but it was pretty. And he did it in New York City, which is You don't want to bomb there.
No, it's freaking hard, man.
I think he stinks.
There's a couple people that I know who've done amateur nights, and
I'd like to do that before I die.
Well, some of it is just natural. Like one of my buddies, he was running jokes by me of jokes that he was going to tell, and I thought the writing was good, but you're just not the guy to deliver the joke. The actual setup, the punchline, the whole story, the build. It was a really well thought out and written joke, and then he tells it, and I'm thinking, and that was it. If
some people are just
if Ricky Gervais had said the joke, I ought to be on my ass.
Well, if you ever read Seinfeld's Art of a Joke, it is so nuanced, and it's literally down to how you emphasize a certain word. Like it's right down to the syllable. Like you have to land the word, and it has to be said perfectly in terms of the punchline. Like there's a real art to it.
Contrarian. That's what we got on the phone lines right now. Old Contrarian is in Pleasanton. Wants to talk about the Golden State Warriors.
Like a 6.8 on that one.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Old Contrarian, save me, buddy. What's up, man?
Can you hear me?
I got you. How you doing?
Okay. So, I was a scientist, and it's like law of averages. You got some things that are great and some things that aren't. Everything kind of averages out. And I look at it as like, does Steph ever get any calls when people are beating on him and stuff like that, And for some reason, it just doesn't seem like league officials want to call the fouls that occur to him. And so I acknowledge, like, Draymond, yeah, he's got some issues. Let's call them issues. And he probably even understands he's got issues. But he sort of is who he is, and I think Steve Kerr just accepts that. And part of Steve's subconscious is that, hey, we got one guy who's over the top, but, maybe I don't really care that much in not doing as much as I would, because look at all the nothing's happening over here that should be happening. And so it's like, yeah, he's just our average it out guy. And anyways, and as much as some of these individual events are just like maybe gross and over the top that happened with Draymond and inappropriate, it's like, what are you going to do? You're going to complain to the league or the refs about Steph not getting calls against him? No, because what everybody knows, so you're going to complain against these people, and they're just going to be more entrenched in their current behavior instead of improving. So that's my point and how I see it.
I got you, Contrarian. Why are you looking at me like that, dude?
I'm not.
He wasn't doing stand-up. Why are you laughing? God.
Why is he the Contrarian?
What is going on here?
Because he's all about the law of averages. He just takes the other side. This was from 415. Yes, the game is still on today. The Warriors. I'm assuming you're talking about the Warriors. Golden State, Minnesota, 2:30. It's a national game, but it is obviously here on 95.7 The Game. Tim Roy's got the call. Mark Grandy will have pre and post for you starting at 1:30.
Wow.
Let's go to our guy, BPA, Brian, who's in Palo Alto. Morning, my man. What's going on? How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Fantastic. What do you got?
Everyone seems like so excited to just say it's over and, it's over for Steph. It's over for this. And we're so looking forward to what's behind it. Seems to be the vibe. And I don't know if people understand. There's going to be a decade of absolute darkness after Steph's gone. And this is a front office with really no qualified talent, and obviously an owner that meddles all over it and around it. But yeah, it's going to be darkness, and the value of the franchise is going to plummet. So I'm not as excited to say it's all over. And Steph's still a top 10 player in the NBA. It's a shame the commitment they've had to really give him the support he needs. But yeah, I would say I'd rather trade Kuminga and 2 firsts for Troy Murphy, if it's possible. And I'd say that's a better use of those 2 firsts than what Joe Lacob would likely do with it. So, yeah, I would like to see them try to get a piece. I would, then, as opposed to giving up closing the book and saying, okay, for 10 years, this is going to be, a 65-loss team every year. We don't have a single foundational piece on this roster of the young guys, not one. So I don't know why everyone's so excited to say it's over and we want to move forward. Step done, blah, blah. Just don't get it. So, yeah.
Thanks, Brian. I mean, a lot of people are looking at this year as being much more difficult without Jimmy Butler, but I don't know. I mean, this idea that they haven't maximized the career window. I was having this conversation with a friend yesterday. How many more championships do you think they should have won, the Warriors?
Should have won?
Yeah, I mean, I would say 2019 because KD and Clay both got hurt. So, but outside of that,
that's it.
I just feel like there's this alternate reality for a lot of people where if they did everything that they should have done, the Warriors would have their next Curry, they would have won 2 more championships, and they would be the greatest dynasty of all time. And to me, I don't live in that world. You made your choices, you hit on some of them, you missed on others, like most teams. But the amount of the reason why they had a dynasty in the first place is because all of the stars aligned and every choice they made seemed to be the right one. Shoot. From drafting Steph to getting Clay at 11 to getting Draymond in the second round, the same year, I believe the year before is Harrison Barnes. Like, you hit on so many picks. You had a great trade for Iguodala, the move to get Bogut and moving off of Monte. A lot of these were seen at the time as just being moves. That's all they can do right now is hope that they can somehow do the same thing. That they can make a trade that's intelligent, that they can make a draft pick that's intelligent. And by the way, BPA, I would be in favor of trading 2 first-round picks for Trey Murphy. I just think it's going to cost more than that to get him because New Orleans has said they don't want to deal him. But to me, there's nothing really at this point, I think, Dan, outside of moving forward and trying to still just make the best choices you can. And maybe at the end of the year, that's saying goodbye to a head coach of Steve Kerr. Maybe it's saying goodbye to someone like Draymond Green. But right now, before the deadline, they're really handcuffed. And a big reason is because of the ACL tear to Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, there's no easy way of going forward here. There's no solution. And I think the dynasty, and it was over even before the injury to Jimmy Butler. And I would say that, yeah, it's difficult to win, but I think missing, and we always go back to this on a weekly basis, at some point it surfaces, missing on Weissman and missing on Kuminga really put this franchise in arrears. That, to me, was the opportunity. If you were to get 2 impactful players that could have, and I'm not saying that's guaranteeing Steph Curry matching timelines and winning another NBA championship, but that was the opportunity to keep this thing relevant and pass the torch down and build behind, I don't know, Franz Wagner and a Therese Halliburton, whomever. But missing on those 2, I think, is really what was sort of the beginning of the end, if you will.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, it wasn't using those picks to get something more impactful at the time, right? It wasn't using the Wiseman pick or the Kuminga pick or maybe Moody to go and get you something more immediate and then not being willing to sell those assets. I just think the Warriors, I don't know if it was the 2 timelines type of deal. They've just been reactionary, I think, the last probably 5 years. You know, they reacted to the Klay Thompson injury. They reacted to a down year in 2020. They reacted to winning the championship by trying to get back on this all-in for right now type of approach, which is why you're seeing the lack of first-round picks or, you know, taking the kind of college products that Steve Kerr prioritizes. I just think they've been reactionary, and they have not been light years ahead like they proclaimed that they were 10 years ago. Or maybe they were at the time, and light years was actually more like just 5 years ahead. In addition to the NBA developing an Abrams system aimed directly at them to prevent them from having any sort of flexibility. The Warriors were a team that was willing to pay to compete, and now it's even more difficult to do that. We were talking earlier about like Dunleavy's job, and I think that one of the reasons why he was picked, in addition to being a part of the team, was also because he came in with the task of making this team cheaper, of cutting payroll. How do you get better if you're cutting payroll? And some of that is on the apron system in the league, and I think some of that is also the Warriors not willing to spend the most money possible when their team is not going to be the best team in the league. They'll spend for a team that has a surefire chance to win a championship, but like what the Niners did last year, they've kind of trimmed fat up until they spent money on Jimmy Butler because they deemed him worthy. I think the Butler injury changes a lot of things about the direction of the franchise, and I don't think all of them are bad. But, Dan, they're going to have to lay in the bed they made.
If it's me, I'm falling back. I'm just get me in the lottery. Give me some draft. It's another good draft. At some point, you're going to have to build around your own. Why? Because you may stumble on a young talent and have them under a rookie deal that's cheap, and now you have a future. The difficulty is, how do you sell that on Steph Curry? And I don't know the answer to that. I don't think Steph Curry's going to walk. Where's he going to go? Charlotte? Back home? But I do think that, and I've been saying this for years, and had you done it a couple of years ago, you'd be further ahead in terms of the recovery process. But if you're going to continue to go after the Paul Georges, or still chasing the Trey Murphys, and still thinking that you're going to win without Jimmy Butler, I guess it just depends on what is it that you're trying to do as a franchise. Are you still trying to play some meaningful games and get into the playoffs for Steph Curry and damn the future? Just live for today. Let's let Steve Kerr give a rip about the future, because he has no future. He's just about this year, maybe next year. I mean, if that's the attitude, then yeah, go ahead. But keep in mind that you're headed to the abyss like a bullet if this is what you're going to do.
Or you're headed for a worse place, purgatory, which is right there in the middle. Let's go to D, who's in freezing D.C. D, you staying warm out there, buddy? What's going on?
Howie. It is cold as you know what around here. What's going on, Coconut? You good?
What's up, my man?
Hey, man, it's cold. But anyways, it's Saturday, so the best basketball, or better yet, the best Warriors basketball show is on the radio. I definitely have to tune in and call in. By the way, you guys have been right on everything that you're saying except for one thing. You pointing the fingers at Kerr, you pointing the fingers at Draymond, which I agree totally. But where does Lacob sit in that particular equation? Because if you're the owner, a young man is in your locker room. Number one, he tried to choke the coach. He punched a player. You end up trading that player and then turn around and give a long contract to that same guy. At some point, you are at fault. Because I would not be at the top of an organization for me to have a malcontent in my locker room and decide to reward him with a new contract. This is ridiculous. Lacob has been wrong ever since Jerry West left the organization. He installed his son to be the GM, or the de facto GM. They selected Smiley-Gitch, whatever you want to call him. By the way, they allowed Draymond to select J.K., Pascal, and Jacob Evans, and whoever else that they drafted after Jerry West left the organization. So all that falls on the coach, man. Yes, it's true that Draymond has been bad. Yes, it's true that Kerr has been tolerant or whatever, protecting Draymond or whatever. But Lacob is the main person that we should all be aiming our ire on, man. I'm sorry. I agree with you 1,000% on Lacob and on Kerr and Draymond. But where is Lacob in that equation? Anyways, I'm going to shut up and listen to you guys from the other side.
Thanks, D. Hope you're well, man. Stay warm. Where's Lacob fit into all this? I mean, he's the one who cuts the checks.
You can't go after the owner because there's nothing you can do about it. So to me, it's sort of a futile exercise.
If you want, you can go get a new GM. You can get a new head coach. You can get new players. Joe Lacob's the owner.
He's not going anywhere. So it's a futile exercise. You want to talk about coaches. You want to talk about GMs. You can do it. And when the Draymond, I'm not necessarily going back through his history, and you can, about him and Steve Kerr protecting him. It just crystallized to me that Butler's gone, and here's Steve Kerr giving a pass to an ineffective, aging, one-time star in Draymond Green who just embarrassed himself. Like, it just hit me in the face that that's what we've been reduced to. Like, we went from a week where this team was like 12-5 over the last 17 games and making a push towards who knows what, to all of a sudden, Butler's gone, there's no future, and all we're left with is Draymond making an ass of himself and Steve Kerr patting him on the back saying it's okay. Like, this is where we're at now. That's a hell of a week.
No, I don't know. It is. I don't know if we're there yet with Draymond, because he'll still have a couple of games that remind you, all right, he can still help you some days. Not the other night. But do you remember Kevin Garnett's last season or last couple of seasons in the NBA? He came back to Minnesota so he could retire a Timberwolf.
Oh, God, yeah.
And he was more of an enforcer than a player. And I don't think that Draymond's there yet, but there are some nights like Thursday night where you're thinking, it's like he just knows that the only way that he can try and get an advantage on guys. By the way, Dwight Powell is not a spring chicken. He's 34 years old, been in the league for 12 years. The only way that I can get an advantage on some of these dudes is to try and intimidate them or, rough them up. And that's a sign that you just don't have it. If you're using, guile and tricks, and like Jimmy Butler, I think, is really good at it. He knows he's not as athletic as he used to be. He's not as quick as he once was, but he can still use his know-how to get to the free throw line, or, can anticipate a pass and get into the lane. It almost feels like that kind of stuff with Draymond it's just not there on certain nights. Some nights it still is, but not consistent enough to allow him to just mess up these situations. The problem is you don't have anybody else to put in, right? Guy Santos started, for crying out loud, against the Mavericks. Kuminga's now hurt, and he's going to miss this game today because he's got knee soreness off the injury he sustained in Dallas. But this is where you do look around and you see, all right, there was Curry, there was Butler, and they were glue to a lot of lesser than parts. I mean, I had a friend text me the other night that Kerr doesn't know how to adapt to this roster. And that might be true. But what is this roster? This team is just not good.
Yeah, I don't go. Listen, again, Kerr's got 10 rings. He knows more about basketball than you and I will ever know. I always defer to him. I just think in this situation, when he makes a point of it, he goes after Podziemski. I've seen him dress Podziemski down, and he's always teaching. He didn't play Kuminga. Why? Because Kuminga doesn't fit into the rotation, or Kuminga doesn't understand defense. I think it all starts with defense with him. Like, Kuminga can't win me. He doesn't make winning basketball plays. Isn't that what he always gets on? Like, he likes Will Richard and Podziemski. These guys make winning basketball plays.
Yeah.
Yet, he's willing to give a pass to Draymond Green, who just lost you a game. Like, there's an imbalance there. And there's a bit of a contradiction in his message to the younger players. And that's just sort of what it is that I'm pointing out. That this doesn't jive, Steve Kerr. Like, either you're this guy or you're not.
888-957-9570 is the number. One segment left on the other side. Warriors this week up until 12 every single Saturday morning. Then a couple hours away from Warriors Live at 1:30 with Mark Grandy, taking you up until 2:30 with Tim Roy, and when the Warriors take on the Minnesota Timberwolves in a very frigid Target Center. All right, Devone Giddings back after this on 95.7 The Game.
Hey, it's Willard and Dibbs for Safeway. Enjoy these amazing deals for members. And as always, save up to 20% weekly on hundreds of exclusive offers from Safeway. Just clip the highlighted deals from the weekly mailer or click the deals in the For You section of the Safeway app to breeze through checkout. Buy one, get one free. Foster Farms Simply Raised boneless, skinless chicken breast, thin sliced or tenders. When you buy two, it's kind of like radio hosts. Buy one, get one.
And here he is, and you can mix and match 1 pound strawberries or 6 ounce blueberries, raspberries, or blackberries for just $2.99 each when you buy 3, and mix and match Lucerne flavored creamer or cottage cheese, Dannon Greek yogurt, Yoplait fridge pack, Mountain High yogurt, and Yakult probiotic drinks, selected sizes and varieties like us, just $2.99 each when you buy 2.
Wonderful job. Safeway makes it easy for you to save money on the items you already buy, so that's perfect. Go to Safeway.com for more details, and we will see you in the aisles.
Tune in for Warriors Live today, presented by Xfinity, your home court advantage. Brought to you by Xfinity. Watch all your favorite teams all in one place. Xfinity, imagine that.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands, Samsung, LG, or Sony.
Okay, so I'll start shopping on the internet, then head over to the Warehouse Club to compare.
But if that's all we do, we'll be sorry.
Why?
Because the best deals on those top-rated TVs are at video only, not online or at the club.
Video only has better deals?
Yep. We could save up to $500 if we shop smart.
Then we could afford a larger model and really impress our friends.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In Mountain View, San Mateo, Union City, Dublin, and San Rafael. Video Only.
Team up with Stanford Blood Center and the Golden State Warriors this winter to save lives. From January 2nd to 31st, every donor who presents to donate blood at any center or drive will receive a special redemption card for a co-branded SBC Warriors sweatshirt. Wear your new sweatshirt with pride, knowing that you contributed to both the Warriors community and the life-saving work of the Stanford Blood Center. Don't miss this chance to give back and get rewarded in style. Donating blood is easy, and your gift could save a life. Visit StanfordBloodCenter.org/promotions for more information.
Tune in to 95.7 The Game for exclusive and exciting live play-by-play Warriors action brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Express yourself with personalized cafe appliances at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill. You can select custom hardware in 4 finishes that let you uniquely accessorize your kitchen. Experience GE Cafe innovation with 6-burner Pro ranges, hot water dispensing refrigerators, and smart induction ranges. Plus, for a limited time, receive up to a $3,000 rebate with the purchase of select suite combinations. Uniquely style your kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at friedmansappliance.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-894-7722. That's 800-894-7722. Again, 800-894-7722.
Everyone needs to take care of their mental health, even running back Bijan Robinson.
When I'm on the field and feeling the pressure, I usually just take a deep breath. When I'm just breathing and seeing what's in front of me, everything just slows down. It just makes me feel great before I run the play.
Just like Bijan, we all need a strong mental game on and off the field. Make a game plan for your mental health at loveyourmindplaybook.org.
Love your mind.
Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Foundation, the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation, and the Ad Council.
Let's go! You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
95.7 The Game congratulates our sister station Live 105 on being named Legendary Station of 2026 by the Bay Area Radio Hall of Fame. We welcome you to join them as they celebrate January 30th in Alameda. Get your tickets and all the details at 957thegame.com.
Now back to Warriors This Week on 95.7 The Game.
All right, half hour left in the show. Every Saturday, Warriors This Week, 9 to noon. Dan DeVell and Evan Giddings, Steve Risotto in the house. We talked about a lot of things today. All these doomsday scenarios. You got to put that to the wayside, man. It's sunny outside. What are you talking about? No, 7:07. The Warriors game today will not be postponed. I know it's cold as hell in Minnesota, but they play inside.
How cold is it?
It's right now it's negative 3.
Yeah, you just told me that.
In Minneapolis. It's cold as hell. But this is the thing, though. I know out here it sounds just terrible, but those cities are built to handle those ridiculous conditions. They have, especially in a place like the Twin Cities, they have underground walkways, different connections to buildings. Like downtown Minneapolis, you can stay inside all day. In fact, there is a hotel, and I know this because Ricky Rubio, I guess, used to stay there when he was with the Timberwolves, but there's a hotel that actually connects to the Target Center, and that's where a lot of players stay, and then they don't actually have to leave.
Yeah. So. Atlanta's like that. The old, I don't know what it's called now, but you could go from CNN headquarters to the arena. It was all accessed via underground in Atlanta. Somebody call me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's an underground transport that takes you to where did the Hawks play now?
I don't know what the arena is called, but
yeah. And it doesn't get that cold. Atlanta's actually pretty pleasant weather-wise.
Oh, I've heard it's great. I never actually had a chance to get down there when I lived in the South. One of my few regrets from living around the country. All right, let's go to Joe, who's in San Jose, wants to talk about Steve Kerr and the lineup. What's up, Joe? Good morning, man. How you doing?
Listen, I'm a short guy, okay? So I know about being short. Mm-hmm. But why does Kerr, I know he knows so much, but why does he continue to have 8 guards on the Warrior team? Why does he play 2, 3, 4 guards against tall teams like Portland? Why does he do that? Can you explain?
Well, the Warriors as a team are not very tall, Joe, but I hear what you're saying. So, would you prefer to use multiple centers or...
How tall is Joe?
Absolutely. We have JTD, we have Post, we have Gee, but he doesn't use his tall players. And if one of his tall players gets hot, he pulls them out and puts Pods in. Pods can score with the gravity of a Steph Curry beside him, but he cannot make his own shots.
How tall are you?
How tall am I? 5 feet.
Wow.
So I know about being short, dude.
So yeah,
it's not a problem for me. Yeah.
Did you, have you ever worn lifts?
No.
Okay.
Not a boy, Joe.
But I am aware that when I used to play basketball when I was in high school. I used to play with my friends, and I know that when I went up against one of the tall guys, I wasn't going to get the rebound. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know this. And I just ask, why does Kerr time after time after time we go up against Houston, we go up against the Cavaliers, we go up against Oklahoma, and we're playing 3-4 guards. Why?
Thanks, man.
Thanks. Appreciate the call, Joe. I mean, the only answer is because that's
at what point
that's
are
what's on the team. You all right there? Dude, you gotta pull it together for these last few minutes, man.
I'm just curious.
Taking cheap shots, and
I'm not a cheap shot. I mean, that's when he said he's smaller. That 5 feet that's pretty. At what point are you like legally a small person? I shouldn't laugh. Like what qualifies you as being
I'm 5'10". I don't know these answers. What I do know is
good thing he's not 4'11". That's like you want to.
Well, he might be. He's just saying that he's 5 feet. No, the thing I appreciate about Joe, in all seriousness, Joe, you don't sound like someone with a Napoleon complex.
No, he's owning it, or it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Those people are the worst.
No,
the ones that are small and take it out on
Putin on
everybody else. Those are the people that have no place in society. All right. As for the 4-guard lineups, this is the problem. The biggest issue with this team is that they have forwards who are the size of guards. For example, Gary Payton II is a forward. He's 6'2". He's the size of a guard who plays power forward. Even Draymond Green, who I think is more of a center than he is a forward now at this stage in his career, he's 6'6", maybe, on a good day, and he's playing center. So he's a center that plays forward. They have forwards that play guards, and they have guards that play like smaller guards. They are just a small team.
Will Richard sort of plays a swing, even though he's 6'3".
He's more of a forward, even though he's the size of a guard. He's a wing, but he's the size of a guard. Pods is just a guard. They don't have anybody who has positional size. When they were running things like Andre Iguodala, all right, that's a wing. Yeah, he's 6'7". I mean, Moses Moody plays more like a 4. They use Kuminga at the 4. They have every single player on their team plays up positions. They don't play down positions. And some of that is the way that the coach uses them. I think a lot of it is also just the way the roster's built.
I got to push back on Podziemski a little bit. He's been really good over a really extended period of time.
He's best coming off the bench, though. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. But he has been he looks like he's turned a corner. And offensively, he looks legit. Like he looks like he is playing with so much more confidence. And I'm willing to say that he's taken a step to being, he's not going to be your number 3. He's not going to replace Jimmy Butler. But on a good team, there's a place for Podziemski.
Yeah, I think, and I think the numbers would tell you that when he comes off the bench, he's much more
efficient. All of a sudden, he can shoot it, too. From 3. I think he has, doesn't he have the best percentage on the team? He's over 40.
He does. But last year he shot 38. I mean, really after his terrible start to last season, he was above 40% from 3. I think it's just more so some of the decisions he makes when he has to put the ball on the deck and make plays.
I always think Sam Lubman when I see him play these days. I can't distinguish.
You said that earlier. And I don't know who that's more disrespectful to.
Well, I do.
Pod's got to get rid of the beard, though. I think he's going through that stage where he can finally connect it. He's got the full beard going. He's just letting it fly. I don't necessarily mind the Sideshow Bob, but the beard's it's getting a little out of control there. Let's go to Burnsy. Burns is in Fremont. Burns, what's up, man? How you doing? Good morning.
Evil E. What is up, Big D? What's going on? It just gets me, man, and I really have to call in. It gets me every single time the Warriors start to drop below 500 or they hit a little rough patch. We start getting the low-hanging fruit of Draymond. It really starts with 95-7. I don't know. I know you guys have it out for Draymond. I'm not sure what you want to do. Bench him, cut him, have him retire. It's not going to happen. But, Bay Area, check this out, man. Just every now and then, stop your complaining and think about what the Warriors have produced for you, all right? Because I am a guy that looks back and sees those championships, and I'm mighty proud of that because I do remember, and that's the other thing I bring up. The young Warrior fans, you guys don't remember. You don't remember the lean years. You know what the biggest moment back when I was watching the Warriors? I honestly think it was in 1989. They beat the Jazz in the first round. I was freaking stoked, man. I almost ran around the streets wearing my Warriors stuff. Other than that, it was all-stars. Murley, Hardaway would make an all-star team. Appreciate the dang Warriors, man, every now and then. Don't go for that low-hanging fruit of Draymond must go. And this is the thing. This is the thing, Bay Area. Get it through your thick skulls. Curry loves Draymond. And that's what gets me, dude. Curry loves Draymond. He ain't going nowhere. He's going nowhere. So get off of Draymond. I won't say it. Get off of Draymond, man. It's a tie. It's so low-hanging fruit. Bring me something else besides Kerr, besides the other low-hanging fruit of Kerr this, Kerr that. Oh, the 4-time champion, the gold medal. I mean, whatever you want to throw at him, dude. The dude's done it, all right? Yeah, he has a crap team. What do you want him to do, dude? You can't always make lemons with lemonade, dude. You have to have some lemons, and we ain't got no lemons. Hey, Evil E, I love this freaking show. It's sometimes blurst, I'm sure. Sometimes it has to be blurst, like the kids say. It's a blessing and a curse covering the Warriors. But you guys hang in there, man. I love it. Take care.
Thanks, Burns.
Good call.
I'm not going to lie. No, he's fine.
That was a good call.
Yeah, I thought it was a good call. I haven't heard the blurst before, though. Blessed and cursed. If that is what the kids are saying, I skipped that day. Just because, all right, we can recognize the resumes of all-timers. Kerr, he's got 9 rings between a player and head coach. He's had just about every single role there is in the game of basketball, from front office to player, head coach, all that. We can also recognize the resume of Draymond Green, 4-time champ, future Hall of Famer. But that doesn't mean that you can't discuss what's happening before our eyes. And while I'm not exactly in the camp you are, Devone, when it comes to tossing everything to the wayside, I think this team has to just try and put its head down and move forward right now, at least until the summer. I can absolutely make the observation that Steve Kerr's allegiance to Draymond Green is unsettling in situations like Thursday night, when he's actively hurting your chance to win a basketball game, and you just sit there and support him.
95.7 The Game breaking news.
All right, we have breaking news. Evan, do you want to? Did you see it at all?
Yes, I did. Someone was talking about this earlier. It's official, though. The Timberwolves-Warriors game in Minneapolis has been postponed by the NBA, per Shams Charania of ESPN, in wake of a man shot and killed Saturday in a confrontation with federal agents in the city. It's the second shooting there in a week, third this month, involving a federal officer. Yeah, Minneapolis is unfortunately a war zone right now. God, we live in a messed up world. It's not even about the game. Like, what are we doing, man?
So the game was canceled.
Postponed. It'll be postponed to Monday. And they might play a back-to-back now, because I know that they were also supposed to play in Minnesota. Or they might reschedule the game. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Someone lost their life.
Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
Just bleeped up. It's a freaking joke is what it is.
Yeah, it's scary times.
Oh, boy. All right, I don't want to...
Minnesota, of all places, which is usually, such a tranquil area.
You know...
Not like you're talking San Francisco, New York, Chicago, Miami. Portland.
It's just crazy. So, the great Prince, the late great Prince, I remember reading about him and why he chose to stay in Minneapolis. The waters of Minnetonka. No, so he wanted to remain in Minneapolis, which is where he's from. Yeah, he's, a little bit of a off the beaten path kind of cat. But one of the things that he always said, which I totally agreed with after living there for a little bit, which was the cold keeps the weirdos out.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that.
Apparently not. All right, let's go to, oh God, this is such a bad transition. I'll take a 0 for that. Tim's in North Carolina. Sorry to toss you the grenade, Tim, but I hope you're having a great day out there, and welcome to the program. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Yes, it's sad, man. It's really sad what done happened to us, man. It's just like what Devon said. It's almost like we're not in America no more when I see this stuff on the news. It's crazy. But what I wanted to ask you guys is just, do you guys believe that do you believe Bob and Steve's vision for the future of the team were aligned when Bob left? And I really ask that because you remember Bob made comments about, hey, I could get the coach tall players all day. That doesn't mean he's going to play them. And he left right after that. And Bob has never put a roster together with 8 guards. Right, never. And so I know a lot of people around like to be hesitant to hold Steve accountable for this roster. But I think he has a whole lot more to do with this roster construction than we want to admit to. Again, Steve has to have a certain type of player, in quotation marks, right? A certain type of IQ type of player, 0.5 basketball. Where it's not a lot of 0.5 players in the league nowadays. A lot of teams do a different type of style of play. And so how much do you guys believe they were aligned in their vision when Bob left? And how much credit do y'all give Steve for the roster that's out on the court, guys? So, all right, that's all I got, man. Y'all take care, fellas.
You too, Tim. It's a good question. I think Steve Kerr wants players who, like Tim's talking about, make quick decisions with the ball and make plays for others or themselves. And there's not a ton of guys on this team, and the few players that feel like they can do it are players who are small, players who are willing to move the ball, who can dribble a little bit. They have a lot of specialists on this team. I was just looking at the 2022 squad, the last team, obviously, that won the championship, because I think it's unfair to look at like 2018 or 2017 and say, oh, well, yeah, I mean, Iguodala, Durant, Steph, Clay, Draymond, all those guys are just incredible decision makers when they have the ball. But you had Curry. Wiggins kind of fit into that category. Poole was a playmaker. Clay, coming off of injury, he scored 20 points a game that season. Draymond was 4 years younger. Porter can make decisions with the ball. Iguodala was at the end. I mean, there's just more playmakers to me on that team. And there's not a lot of those guys. I think that's the reason why Podziemski plays, is because Kerr thinks that he at least can facilitate. I don't think he's great when he tries to make plays for himself, but again, the word connector comes up a lot. He connects different players on the floor. The issue is the players aren't now very good because Curry's really the only one that can make stuff happen.
I think Podziemski's gotten a lot better. I was with you. Him getting to the rim was always sort of weird. I think that was part of his growing up process. He can still he awkwardly beats guys off the dribble every single time. He doesn't have like a crossover. He's not the quickest guy in the world, but I think he's like your number 2 offensive option right now. And he's pretty damn good. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this guy is finishing around the rim and shooting it. He's going to be a weapon in this league.
Well,
I would say this.
They're going to need him now.
I would say
this, everybody.
That maybe Myers and Steve Kerr weren't aligned. Well, no, I would say they're aligned together. I think they're friends, and they saw things through the same lens. I could be wrong. The one criticism I would say about Steve Kerr is he's a little slow to the party and getting bigger. I don't know what that's attributed to. Maybe because he was a guard and he sees things from a guard's vantage point. But the league got big, and the Warriors stayed small. And it's almost like they did that out of design. And it's clear now that every team that is vying for a title or a conference championship is big. Everybody that's good it has big players. And the Warriors, for whatever reason, still seem to be transfixed in doing it their way, which is not necessarily relying on bigger players.
Let's wrap it up with the one, the only.
See, I can't see names. Is that who's been hanging out? You did it to him again?
Mitch in New Jersey. You did it to him. Mitch, I told you I'd get you on this time, and I'm sorry I had to make you wait, but I hope you're doing all right back east, and Dan Devone is going to apologize to you personally.
You don't have to apologize. None of you guys. How you guys doing?
Fantastic, Mitch. What's happening?
Mitch, are you ready for so I was supposed to head out there tomorrow, but I'm not. I'm going out Monday. So you got Jersey, I'm assuming you got the same warnings that we got, like you're snowed in tomorrow and Monday? You're not going anywhere?
Nah, it's going to be a cold week. So I would postpone that trip to New York if I was you. I'm hoping we're going to have a power outage, so tomorrow's the best game for football. Best Sunday of the season, I think. And these games are usually more excited. Too bad we didn't keep Sam Darnold tomorrow. No, just kidding. And, of course, Dan, you saw Bo Bichette sign with the Mets. The Giants, they're a little late for the party. Go find that bank account. All right. Sorry about that. I was hoping the Giants would sign somebody. Somebody good, of course. Golden State, the team has aged poorly. Trade Dre, J-Man. I know he's a Hall of Famer. Going with the guy. I don't know why we got Butler in the first place. You had Clay. At least he's a little taller. Now you have to have something for next year because he's an opt-in, and who's going to take that contract? And that's a bad injury. So get Michael Porter Jr. Really lower the value of Kuminga. And I wish you guys would be feedback. Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing here.
How's the grandkid?
I'll let you go. You guys, I'm holding right here. I got him to sleep.
Attaboy.
Well, don't speak too loudly, Mitch.
Couldn't keep his eyes open. Little Jeremiah. It has snowed 7 times since he was born.
Are you breastfeeding that kid, or did you get it formula finally?
Jesus.
We got a formula.
All right.
It's a special one, so it's a little hard to find at times.
Well, Mitch, in about 20 years, if the Warriors are still around, they're going to need a kid who's 6'8". You think Jeremiah's going to get there?
I think my kid's going to be both. My grandkid's going to be over 6 feet tall. I'm short, too. I'm 5'6". Went to the doctor in high school when I was like 5'1", sophomore, 110 pounds. Doctor said nothing to do about it. I ran out crying. I know, that's me.
Never too early for PEDs, Mitch.
Have a nice weekend. Yeah.
Love you,
Enjoy
Mitch.
the games. Have a nice weekend.
Appreciate the call, Mitch. Yeah,
we got to get him in an unboxing match with the other guy, the 5-footer.
Who? Joe?
Yeah.
No, Joe is, by the way, someone did text in from the Boxing Gurus and Work Injury Attorneys text line. According to Google, dwarfism is 4'5" and under.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Yeah, Joe's fine.
Joe's, jeez.
You're taking cheap shots at him.
How short are you, Joe? 5 feet. Wow.
Pasta from the top rope.
I didn't know what to say. Well, usually when someone says they're shorter, you're thinking like 5'6", 5'5". I don't. 5 even's pretty.
Yeah, but it's not like we're not giants here.
No, I know, but I think we're the average height. Yeah,
extraordinarily average is what I would consider us. Hopefully, this show resembles something similar.
What's the average height for a woman? It's about 5'4", 5'3".
Depends on the nationality.
What? Talking about?
Well, I think in America, 5'4", but other places they got larger women, smaller women.
Well, that's true for both sexes. Just
5 feet to 5'4".
Well, that's a wide range.
Wide range there. Pasta.
Yeah, pasta. Good Lord. Yeah, people are saying 5'4" in America.
I've always been attracted to smaller women. I once dated this very tall woman, and I woke up and she had like her leg wrapped around me, and I was in the fetal position, like shaking. Like,
I think that means you're insecure.
Really? Well,
yeah,
around her.
I love tall women.
Ugh.
Get me a ladder. Woo! By the way, I'm 5'10" for anybody out there listening.
You can just go roll a fat one.
All right, we're going to roll up out of here. I know there was bad news at the end of the show. By the way, the Warriors game has been postponed to Monday, so they'll just basically kick it into a back-to-back in Minnesota. They will play both games against the Timberwolves, but our thoughts and prayers out to Minnesota, Minneapolis. There was another fatality today that has caused the Warriors and Timberwolves game. Oh, the game's going to be tomorrow. Sorry. They played Sunday and then Monday. Yeah, so the back-to-back game is rescheduled for tomorrow. Yeah, Minnesota. Keep it up, man. It's a wild, wild west, apparently on the central part of the country. All right, for Dan Devone, for Pasta, my name is Evan Giddings, saying thank you for listening to this edition of Warriors This Week. We'll talk to you next time, same place, same time on 95.7 The Game.
You know what? Let's throw a party this year for the big game.
Hey, we can invite our friends over and all take turns yelling at the TV during the game.
But first, we should get a new TV.
Yeah, like one of the top-rated brands.